See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. AllReasonNoLogic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. AllReasonNoLogic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. AllReasonNoLogic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All reason King of the Hill lobbies. Most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond all reason.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. No moderators around yet, so hopefully they'll be back ready for the next one. I'm going to kick this one off so we can hopefully get in 4 games because I'm got a big week.
He's lying. He's got a curfew.
But a weird night tonight. Tank Tom has decided to actually help us out. Back for the evening.
What you mean is I'm back in the state for a couple of hours, and it just happens to be when this is on.
Pretty sure I worked it out. You're back in the state for 58 hours.
Yeah, it was not long.
Andy. Not that a moderator's around, but if you happen to be watching, it's going to send over the stream together invite.
Now, if you do want Tank Tom to participate from his interstate adventures, all somebody needs to do is donate around about 3,000 Australian dollars to the AllReasonNoLogic stream, and we'll buy him a laptop.
just
I was trying to work out
grand.
how I was going to take a peek like a desktop PC to and from.
Yeah, on a
That
small
was
plane.
not going to work well.
You're on a light plane, aren't you? One of those ones that take about 15 people.
No, it's
Just
got
put
about
it in one of
100
the seats.
All right, now, night, couple different things being employed. I didn't get it time at the start of this one. Psycho Pew Pew, one of our regular members, has kindly spent a lot of time creating a website that helps us work out the bonuses that we apply to Kings. I've been playing around with it in the background, and it's more accurate on some maps than others, but essentially it doesn't work out the bonuses on a formula. It works it out on statistical regression. So basically it'll read the OS and the experience of King of the Hill from players by adding their names into a drop down, adds their OS automatically from the website, which is awesome, adds how many times they've played as King, which is awesome, and it will work out. It aims for the game to be as close as possible based on inputs from previous other games that he's been recording. So yeah, we'll have a go at that. And of course, we will get maps where Kings win heaps, like this one, Claymore. The recommended bonus is quite low because it is worked out on statistical regression. So that one there we have to play a little bit, because if you drop it down to like 25, Kings will almost lose every time. But it kind of gives us a hint on who's in the middle where we're going to hit that bonus. We'll try it out later. I'm going to start this game. Looks like we've got all positions set. And I'll tell you about the other thing a little bit later on.
Battle started.
Hello everyone. King of the Hill back on Claymore. Praetor can somewhat talk now. I'm almost completely better. And Tank Tom. No excuses. Thank you for that pink highlight in the middle. This is the zone that the peasants may not enter from King of the Hill. We have a 10-minute no rush. No peasants are allowed to enter that zone until 10 minutes. Similarly, these 5 kings up on the hill, not allowed to leave this starting circle. These guys have 10 minutes to build up their ecos and then defeat their triangles. That means if you're in this triangle over here on the left, Fish House Mike and Mnemonic need to beat the fringe, or vice versa, before they leave this triangle and go and assist another triangle. If a triangle falls and the players leave it to attack another triangle, those players from that triangle can then leave their triangle. So if you're going to leave your triangle once you've won it, just be prepared that they can attack you back, or they can attack other players on your team back after that point in time. So Tank Tom, Pradith, what are we thinking for the first game tonight?
I mean, looking
I
at
think
what
we're
we've
playing.
got here, I'd be quite worried for the player that's going up against Dominus, Dowshi, and Morning Phoenix. Dominus has been responsible for a lot of the coordination in the peasant chat, and it does make for quite the rough experience going against him. But then we do have some other strong kings around the map. We've got Oodles, we've got Landraiden, and we've got the Fringe as well. Thunderstruck, high OS player, and Oblark is going to be the wild card in this situation. Around the outside, quite a lot of regulars as well, so we should see a pretty standard Claymore.
And on that, guys, Dominus leading the coordination, jump over in our Discord. These guys play and practice King of the Hill just before the event every Sunday night. So if you want to jump in there and have a chat, have a run through a build order, that's where they'll be.
Speaking of build orders, there's quite a lot of different things you can do if you're in the middle. They actually all work out reasonably similar. Some are slightly better, some are slightly worse. But there is a lot of personal choice in this sort of area. The choice is how long do you stay on T1, how much wind do you get, how much conversion, how many builders, how many construction turrets. Then if you go into T2, do you rely on that wind economy or do you get yourself those fusions? My standard build runs me around about 30 wind into T2, followed by double fusion, then pushing out with whatever units I can, usually defensively, to take that first one. Then once I take that first wave, use the metal to get some offense off. Has worked reasonably well, but we've had some very good players keeping the pressure on. Huge volumes of T1 have been the powerhouse stack for the peasants recently, sometimes with a little bit of T2 long range behind. Around the outside of the map.
Sorry, me for just a little bit of comparison to Pradith, I'm a little bit more reserved. I go for about 40 wind, and then only the one fusion. The reason I do that is I know that I don't have the highest APM. I like to get out more defensive structures and more units by that 10-minute mark. So rather than putting the extra, how much is it for a fusion again? I don't even know what it is anymore. There we go. There's a constructor. Fusion is 3,600 metal. I rather put that into getting a bunch of welders, hounds, even a persecutor out, and making sure that all of my my labs are punching out ticks or rovers if I'm Cortex. So each to their own. Back to the outside, Prey.
Your typical lane has 2 peasants in the outside. One of the lanes will have 3. It doesn't matter whether you're a 2-person or a 3-person lane. Your best bet is to have one player go T2, tap their own mexes and move it along to get the T2 mexes to the other player. Have one player continue to use that T2 to get some sort of T2 unit, whether it's long range or front or a bull, something along those lines. It's going to be good at pushing the front. Then the other player getting T1 units, then trying to force your way down at 10 minutes, because 10 minutes is the weakest the kings are going to be. And if they are allowed to scale, that plus 45 lets them scale pretty hard. You can definitely work together to balance the eco between you. There are 2 players, which means that you will be able to eco. However, when it comes to defending, if the king pushes one person, you're not going to have 2 players worth of resources to defend in the one position straight away. So they definitely do have a bit of an advantage there. So keeping the pressure on the kings is always a good idea. Couple of things to note: air has been turned off. Comms are not allowed to enter the king's circle for the first 15 minutes. And I do believe that's about it for all the unit tweaks.
No offensive structures.
No offensive structures, yeah. That's a big one.
I will talk to that quickly. Before this game started, I talked about how Psycho Pew Pew had added this new website that helps us add the bonuses. This week, another player, Random Guy Jr. on Discord, has helped us out massively with a tweak that essentially turns off damage from structures to other structures. So if someone does build a gauntlet, say on the Hill of Raptor Crater, and we don't catch it for a moment, it's only going to do 1 HP damage per shot to other structures. So, yeah, if it manages to kill something, we're not doing our job because it's shot about 1,000 times before we've caught it. So really, really appreciative of that, and that's applied, I believe, to this game. That affects your gauntlets, your persecutors, any of the longer range artillery. It also affects your bastions, your pulsars, and your bulwarks, and then the EMP launcher and the catalyst. So those longer range things, you can go and put the LLTs against each other, use your commander as a shield and heal it, and that still all works for that early game aggression. But it's a bit of a game changer for us with others.
One thing to bear in mind, that means that if Legion is on, the Legion artillery platform actually counts as a building, not a vehicle, which means that it counts as an LRPC, which means that it won't do damage. Thankfully, LRPCs are turned off, so that will never pop up as a problem.
Let's look north just onto Dominus's lane. So what's just happened there is Dominus has built the T2 lab. He's quickly tapped all 3 of his mexes, and you can just see that T2 construction vehicle going up towards Morning Phoenix's base, and you can see 2 construction turrets were built by Daoshi Bag in this lane. One so that that construction vehicle could tap that left mex, and one for the right mex, and then being handed off after that. So just a drive-by, and we're going to get those slowly upgraded easily before the 10-minute mark. With 40
They're running off of 107. No, sorry, they're running off of 184 wind in this lane with Daoshi, Dominus, and Morning Phoenix. That is
wow.
That is a lot.
And
of wind. That's more. Yep, that is between them 400, 300, 700. Between them, that's around about 1,500 energy when energy's at average. That's a lot to work with when you look at the King, who's currently running at about 1,900. So
yeah,
actually works out quite evenly between the 2 teams for that income.
But you can see right now it actually tells you when you select them. Right now that's generating 1,200 energy per second. So you got yourself 1.5 fusions right there in wind. So this player is going to have their work cut out for him, but it is Oodles. Oh, who is losing? Oh, there you go. Oh, Black can't leave the circle for 10 minutes, bro. Anyhow, yeah, we do have Oodles on this lane, so one of the more experienced Kings, highest OS out there. They got a chance.
Does it look like they're only going for the single fusion build as well, so they're going to have plenty of units.
Cortex though, I usually go on Martyr when I want to play safe. I do like the cheap hounds. They get around quite quickly, so as soon as I do defend the first wave, I've got some fast units to run out. Sheldon's go right. I just don't seem to micro them as well. They do fall a little bit quicker. I'm just a little bit shit at the game.
The big thing with the Sheldons is if you're defending one side, it takes them forever to move across to the other side to defend.
Oh yeah.
And so it's not something which is particularly feasible because you need two T2 labs. But if you can defend with Jaguars and Hounds, you're in a really good spot because the Hounds will deal with so much of the chaff and the Hounds will deal with the rest.
The only difference I have here is I try and build a couple of LTs to stop any spiders coming around the side of my base. I also like to have 2 labs for spam at the 10-minute mark building units. I mean,
speaking of the 10-minute mark, it looks like we're there and there's not a lot of units, to be honest.
No, it's looking rather quiet.
Why does this happen every week that I'm not playing?
What is happening on the top lane? I have not seen this on Claymore before. Dominus. Hovers.
I mean,
the Mangonel have a
the Mangonel is a terrifying prospect
compared to the Twin
But on the right hand side, we do have Landraiden going out with the first offensive push out of the Kings, going straight into Inexorable Raven's base, managing to clean up half of the wind, the lab, and it does look like those Fiends are going to make their way much deeper in. It's going to grab the conversion, and hopefully for the King, the T2 builder, which is a really big loss. So it's basically basing one player, which is going to be a hard thing for those peasants to deal with. They are being attacked by a couple of bits of T2 from the top. Does not have a lot to defend this, only a couple of sumos.
And they're not getting micros, so they're just walking straight past. He might actually get in here with that missed micro.
Oh my god, mutual destruction.
If they keep walking, they will take out most of this wind.
The wind's not such a big deal at the moment because there is a fusion. The problem is...
Build
Oh,
power.
the build
that
power's
build
going to
power.
reclaim it. They're just going to
Oh,
reclaim
yeah, he'll
it.
get the reclaim on. He'll get the reclaim on. There we go.
Like-
Defended, but just barely. Top of the map, though. All of those units that didn't go in at the 10-minute mark, they're now going in at the 11.5-minute mark. A little bit of a missync. The blitzers did get in there much earlier, and we didn't have the mangonels firing. The really interesting thing about the mangonels, these will be able to stay mostly out of range of the defenses. So unlike something like a banisher or a oh sorry, not a banisher, a arbiter, something along those lines, very slow to walk around. These mangonels are going to be an absolute terror because you're going to have to find a way to chase them down. And if you've only got a T2 lab with Cortex, you're going to be trying to chase them down with Fiends probably.
They're doing a good job to take out these twin guards, but the problem is the Sheldons are going to kill them quite easily. You can see each one of those shots taking a big chunk of that green health bar off the top of those mangonels. And the Scorpion.
This is where things
actually
like
has a
Ticks and
bigger
T1
range than the mangonels.
That they do. I like the idea, and I think that if they'd been there to support the initial push, maybe take out some of those twin guards, might have been more effective. But right now we do have the army becoming quite large for Oodles. Large enough that he's confident pushing forward. Unfortunately, pushing forward into blitzers, those blitzers will get a lot of damage done onto... Okay, maybe not. Maybe not as much damage as I thought. Those sumos doing a really good job of cleaning them up. But it does look like Oodles is in a good position right here. Looking at the left of the map, Potato pushing up with LLTs does have some incisors trying to make their way in. Oblique has managed to do a good job defending. So far, not very much in the way of offense, though. Economy-wise, it is... Oh, wow, he needs to get more build turrets because he's not spending. In fact, he needs to get a build queue full stop. But double fusion is a good amount of eco right now. But this could be a... Yeah, there we go. Is spending now. Bottom of the map.
Fiends are in. And if they... No, they've run...
They won't make it.
No.
Don't run into
However, there's not much of an army to stop this. If there's pressure on both sides, it's going to fall rather quickly.
Alright, I'm actually going to go a little bit of around the map.
Pressure.
I reckon Ladder Raiden's going to win their lane. I think a Black's going to lose their lane. Oodles, I actually think, is going to win their lane against the 3 players, which is, you don't see that very often. I cannot tell you who's going to win out of the bottom 2 lanes. So Fringe and Thunderstruck both are at stalemates with their opponents.
And you know what? A stalemate is actually perfectly okay if you're next to a lane that's probably going to win. Now, you're saying that Oblique is is potentially going to lose. Well, right here, right now, is the loss condition. That comm is explodable. Unfortunately, the Fiends have run away from the comm. Does mean that they've grabbed all of the metal conversion. Unfortunately, just not able to spend that metal. The real problem that Oblique had was just not enough build turrets.
And this is where Potato and Lloyd just need to push everything in at the moment, because those welders will defend against a lot. All you want to do is take out that last fusion that takes out all but 3 wind for a Black. Got to get in there quickly. Sprinters are going to be a good option here. Potato has a commander there, just walk it in. If you get this close to... 15 minutes actually. He's going to wait 11 seconds. Somebody hit pause.
I mean, doesn't that mean we remove it?
Yeah, we actually do. He was 3 seconds early. Literally remove it. Yep, you cannot enter for 15 minutes.
Although I don't think that it is going to matter, because we do have those Sheldons coming in and very little in the way of production.
That was pretty funny, actually. I know Potato very well. Play with him quite regularly, so I kind of felt that was quite enjoyable watching that.
And the thing is, I can totally see how that happens. You get excited. I 100% would have marched my comment there, not even looking at it, because I'm like, oh yeah, I want that metal reclaim.
Yeah, okay, he's even said fair. But these guys got to get their move on, because Oodles is looking dangerous. And I don't know if you saw Predators and Tom, but well, there you go, Self D on the fusion. No, he's going to lose.
Self D.
Dominus built a whole bunch of rocket ambassadors, or whatever they're called. for
and they
Cortex.
got absolutely cleaned up.
Yeah,
because
if
they
he
are
had
so
tigers, if he had tigers or something,
Yep.
these guys wouldn't have got out. So possibly a unit choice was the issue there. And that's actually going to be the first lane to completely fall Dashi back. I mean, you're good, but you're not that good right now, being absolutely
When you're the player in the
encompassed.
middle, you did not have the economy to survive this. The economy was in one of the
No.
other two sides.
It's not looking
Now,
good
bottom of the
for
map, we
peasants.
haven't been concentrating too
Oh.
much on it, but it looks like the Fringe broke his siege and managed to get out onto the map. He's taken out Yep.
That's it.
And is now getting his sumos into Fishhouse Mike's base. Fishhouse Mike does not have the economy to deal with this, only at a +13 at metal, so will fall relatively soon. And it's going to be quite important because Thunderstruck is in dire straits right now. Triple Fusion, though, giving him plenty of economy, pumping out at the 150-odd metal a second mark, but he's going up against snipers on both sides of the map, which is a hard thing to fight with plenty of stuff in front to keep those snipers safe.
It doesn't look like the Kings are going to get revenge for last week. The peasants getting a good victory, but now the Kings are doing damage.
Nice flank on that right-hand side over there.
Oh, there we go. Now it's moving.
Yeah.
Now it's moving. We have actually seen a game where somebody did basically exactly that. They forgot about the units and lost. They had about 5,000 metals worth of units right next to one of the bases, and they were just so busy defending their own base from other players, they just completely lost.
Justin, it's always good to put some separation in your wind. Zooming out, finally, Potatoes Lane is one for the peasants, but that is the only peasant victory happening right now. 3 Kings, essentially eliminating their opponents. I'll say the Fringe has now won their lane. Big Justin still remaining, so Lade and Redden cannot leave their base for
Oof.
a little while.
Thunderstruck has managed to break the siege on his base as well. Mostly thanks to these mammoths. The mammoths do not take
This
much damage
is
from
why
hounds.
I don't self-D my commander to get the medal.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you need a commander, people. And the oh no, Big Justin is the only someone send him energy, people. If you're
Wait,
a peasant and you're still
there's
alive,
only 3 comms left on the field.
that's,
Oh, wow.
Everyone sacked their comms.
Wait, where's the other?
someone
there you
needs to. If you're listening, Potato, give some wind to Big Justin because he needs to go invisible. Here's your lost condition. Be map aware, people. Oh no, and these are Sheldons. Sheldons are going to struggle. No
That
one's
is gonna
giving
be
him.
game, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's giving
That's
him.
if that comm goes down, this might actually be the first ever Kings win without eliminating all of the triangles.
This is funny. Is he going to get it? Morphine's coming down now.
I can't believe they're not pinging more.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Because all that
Potato
has
is
to
very
happen-
busy, and
Oodles just needs to just come in from behind and take care of this.
oh look, he's got vision. Sheldon's up on the hill trying to target now. They're getting so close. This Fiend's doing a lot of damage. Big
Mhm.
Justin cannot. Oh, he just manages to get a D gun off there. He's down to 7%.
Oh no!
Dance, dance, dance.
Dance! It's
Oh.
not enough! It's not enough!
That was great. 3
Oh
Kings,
man,
4
that's
Kings remaining.
crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, brilliant. Good start to King of the Hill, people. Thanks very much for the compliment, Tygo. Okay. Good effort.
Very good job. The peasants. This is one of the things that we always recommend is to get that aggression on at the 10-minute mark because you can see just how quickly 1 extra minute worth of economy production help those king scales. Help those
APM.
kings scale.
APM, the
3
biggest
fusions
resource.
instead of 2 is a big jump in income. It's around about. It essentially pays for itself in, I think it's 100 seconds or something.
Something like that. All right, let's jump into the next one. Thanks, guys. And Chrono, if you're listening, Us up a. Oh, okay. It's already been decided, and that is because we do not have a. We have a mod here to open this up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like we're doing DSD 8-way. We do apologize. I'm going to get on Discord and try and ping a mod. I'll steal this here. Let me see if I can message. There you go. He's
There we
doing it
go.
already.
Good.
All right. Might jump up to a bigger map. We shall see.
I hope they don't crash in the process.
Yes. Seems like that could be very well happening. The event might get put on before the team size got upped.
No, I don't think I saw that.
One of the things which I would absolutely love to get is a command that removes everybody from the queue, because then we could set up a macro which removes everyone from the queue, turns it into an event, adds the player limit, then everyone has to rejoin one at a time, so it should theoretically not crash the game.
Rather than trying to throw 20 people into the game
It
all at
ha-
once, you've got
it-
slight delays as to when everyone rocks up so that it's not processing all of them instantaneously.
Exactamundo.
All right. That's happening. There we go. Preset event. Did it happen? Yes. Awesome. Thank you.
Nice.
Everyone. Going back in that queue. The player limit's going to be increased shortly, I'm sure. But we might wait for that to happen before we go and apply a map. There we go. Worked. Go for gold, Chrono. Patient people. We're slowly letting people in so that that doesn't happen. I'm going to find E7 again, or was it just me that crashed?
Nah.
It's
as well.
everyone.
Okay.
No, wasn't
Sorry,
EU7 really
it was-
bad
sorry,
last week?
EU8. EU8.
Yep.
Right. What I'm going to do is we are going to lock the game, so bear with us. And then
We'll get it set up and then let everyone in a sec.
go. Now, do you wanna apply the map chrono? Once
Have we
that's
got
loaded,
event?
yeah, events up. We just don't have enough people in here to test it, but it definitely, considering the team size set at 4 and we've got 6 on each team, it's worked. Oh no, it's chronographer, not a boss. Sorry, mate. There's Dragon.
No, I cannot join.
Bear with us, guys. Here we go, working. Alright, I think I'm going to open that one up now. Unlocked. People can start filtering in. We're just going to wait for 2x people to join. Is this the lava or the dry sea one? I think we'll get enough for dry sea, as long as we get 35-ish. While we do that, Radith, let's check out this website. I just changed my scene. Oh, it's got to hide the game. There we go. That should be visible, guys. Now, this here on my screen on the AllReasonNoLogic stream is the Psycho Pew Pew developed bonus recommender. So what you do, you select the map you're playing. It'll tell you all the recent wins and losses and etc. if they were close or not. Psycho's been putting them in himself, and then you go and add players that are in here. So just like select from the. I think so. Streaming. So that's going to affect how these play, like how this bonus works, because it will read. I'm not good at multitasking, guys. It'll read what's happening in the background. Okay, so yeah, shit bag, and then you can see as I populate these, it's adding the OS and the experience. Got Mitch. We got, who's this guy? Pradith. And then finally we got Morning Phoenix. Really, Morning Phoenix, I always forget. Morning Phoenix is random go, pretty sure. Oh, Morning Phoenix not coming up on this list. Why is that not working? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I've got a player in there that's around their OS. And then how many peasants have we got? Throw it in at 38. And then you click get recommended bonus. It's recommending 42, which is pretty damn accurate than what we'd give right now with this amount of players. So thanks heaps for that, Psycho Pew Pew. Few comments out there. I'm just jumping back to the screen. Oh, that's a game restart. We'll save you a spot, bro. Now, despite that bonus there, it is a recommendation. It's pretty accurate. Just based on recent losses, we're going to up the bonus an extra a bit when Pradith gets back in here, which I'm sure he'll love. I'm going to go back over to my other scene. So yeah, once again, Psycho Pew Pew, that's awesome. And we're going to add that King Victory up there.
And while he's doing that, I might see if we can't get this one started.
We're going to bump the bonus up a bit more before you do that.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah, just because the last few weeks, things have just not been winning this. So we're going to go.
So what are we upping the bonus to?
Just to 50, I think. Everyone there's experienced. We're just going higher this week. And I'm taking full blame for if there's any walkovers. You guys can throw your abuse through the computer screens at me.
There we go. All right, let's kick this one off. Looks like we have 4 started. And Twig, don't forget to record this one in the background, just because I will have the in-game perspective.
We're just going to do the new drag it straight from Twitch. That works now for me. Up nicely. This will be a good chance to give your throat a rest. The things that you've been doing in the last couple of weeks to make your throat not work so well, Pray. All those
Yeah, I
special
know.
activities.
Commander.
Super weird. Sore throat, sore knees. Just I couldn't even guess how I have them.
Wild coincidence.
Yep.
All right. Well, everyone takes their position. I'm going to see if we can get a share chat going. I'm just going to jump over to the official Discord.
Oh, that's different.
What's the difference, Pray?
Nothing.
This is a game mode, now a map that will be able to probably experience those tweaks that Random Guy Jr. has made to the longer range units.
Nothing at all.
Okay, few less peasants than we have had lately, where we're seeing 42. Actually, that's pretty standard. A few less in the sea. If you can take a max, take a max. If you're in the sea, you will get a better start. Like, you'll be just having one max at the start. You'll hit T2 probably 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah, that first kind of part of your ramp makes much more of a difference than the last. You know, your first 10% is more impactful than your last 10%.
Indeed. All right, I think we should kick this one off.
Oh, you, bro.
All right, I
Good
will do that.
afternoon, Leo. How you going, mate? Hey, Stuart.
Battle started.
Praetor's gonna die.
Oh yeah,
Starting on
hopefully.
a different. I've never seen you start on this ramp. You start on the other two almost always. Did
Someone
you-
took my ramp.
You took too slow to load in, or you were just AFK.
Oh yeah,
trying to
no,
do
because
stream
I
things?
totally wasn't fixing stream stuff.
Legion is on. Gonna overcharge some of those
Oh yeah.
mixes.
I feel like someone's gonna be gunning for me, because of that 1457 com delete.
All right, so Praetor's totally not on that northern ramp, people. Totally not.
Commander destroyed.
Oh no, 2 of the peasants did not spawn in, so we're down to 40. It's 41. It is.
I can live with this.
7 versus 41. Kind of a good amount, a good balance for King of the Hill. The only problem is we have applied a 50% bonus to these guys. We got Ice Cube, Watch Behind, Dominus, Dashipax, Mitch, Praetor, and Morning Phoenix. All these guys know what they're doing. But we haven't seen many King win lately. In fact, the only one I recently remember in recent times is a couple of weeks ago when myself and Grumpiness were co-streaming and we got the win. Similar situation, you know, sore knees, sore throat, so I was playing rather than casting that night. Praetor, maybe we are the factor. Maybe you can repeat. If you don't win, though, it just simply means I'm better at you. Better at King of the Hill.
Yep, 100%.
Sure.
100%.
I mean, I do play this probably about 50 times more than you do. For every one game you play, I probably play 50. But not King of the Hill. King of the Hill, I'd actually say we're quite neck and neck. you know what you're doing there. Guys, this is Throne. Chronographer's been mentioned a lot of times, but he was our OG of modifying maps, Raptor Crater, Claymore, and here on Throne. Dominus recently has modified Krakatoa, which we might jump into next, depending how many players join us. But we're here for 10 minutes looking at this red lava dividing up the kings and the peasants with these 7 kings on an extra 5% bonus than we usually give on this map. And we had a recommendation on our new website by Psycho Pew Pew of 42 bonus. I've added on an extra 8 just because we haven't been seeing many king wins. It has been very one-sided. One man that's quite a factor though of these games is this guy down here on the bottom left, Dominus. He usually plays over here as a peasant, and he rallies a whole bunch of people in the Discord around him to send him their commanders so he can walk into the base. Unlike Claymore, there is no rule about when you can walk a commander into the base. So the rules on this map, 10-minute no rush, no offensive structures, and that's about it. And on the no offensive structures, this way we're testing out the new tweak, which will see the structures not able to damage other structures. That's the Guardian, Gauntlet, Persecutor, Pulsar, long range stuff, Catalyst, EMP launcher. Actually would be interested to see how the EMP launcher works if it just doesn't affect them. I know it only does 1 damage. Everything only does 1 damage now to other structures, but it will do damage to units. That's the thing. And we will still remove offensive structures. It just means that we are essentially, we've created a buffer for ourselves to miss things. We can let something hit something for a while before it really affects the game. What we were seeing previously though, someone would build like a Persecutor down here, shoot up over into this base, and then we'd realize after the base goes pop. Okay, I think Tom's with me in the casting booth. Predith in game, uber focused, taking up all the real estate off of Dashi Bag there with his converters, and I'm sure he's going to reserve this area about here for his eco. That's generally what you want to do. Dashi Bag, eco here, and Predith here. Predith actually usually only does a 2 mech start, even though that one next to him.
Oh man, Dashi didn't take it?
Yeah, he's very generous, Predith. He does a 2 mech start. I should always play in your lane, I reckon, if I'm a king with you, Predith, because you're very generous. Definitely walk your commander over there and don't get it, please, please. That is a lot of metal per second that's been missed. Like, even if you interrupt your build queue right now. No, he's building it. There you go. He gets to be a little bit selfish. I do not love where he's building his eco though. He needs to move up this way a little bit because this lane is the one that seems to always fall to spiders. Like, yeah.
T1 eco is expendable.
Looking around the map, peasants. Not as much coming as we usually see. So you know what? I'm going to call it early. I'm going to call a king win early. There are 3...
That is an early call.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes in. I should get a prediction going, but my APM is just too down.
I think the Kings have probably got the advantage in this one, just because we're not seeing any of those powerhouse corners.
Looking at the top right, Tom,
coming up together.
I'm actually seeing a tell on the top right. At the 10-minute mark, we usually see a metal per second difference of about 70. We're already less than that, and it's only 5.5, 6 minutes in. So what you want to do, peasants, is commie these geos and get into your fusions before the 10-minute mark so that every lane is pushing with T1. So yeah, you help one player in these corners, kind of like over here on the left where there's only 2 players. That's not great for the peasants. Let's look at a different lane. Let's move up one. You can see these guys doing it here. Everyone's sent stuff to this player here, to Lloyd. And then they've gone back to building their own wind and T1 conversion factories. That means that they'll be able to go and build your spam.
Have enough to produce the T1 units to overwhelm those defenses at that 10-minute mark.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's not even been done that well up there because not all the mechs has been given. I love to see absolutely everything given to the one player and then go and build your own stuff with your commander just out of your Inversion. You don't need too much for tick spam. Dry seas. How many do we got in the dry sea? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Considering there are 42 players, 13. Considering there's 32 players,
There's quite a
42
few
players,
out there.
that's only left 30 in the middle. That's not great for the peasants. We have the time before the last win that I was talking about, where big old Twiggy here won. The last win I saw the Kings win was when too many people went in the dry sea and the lanes around this outside just fell straight away. It is very important that all of these positions are taken up and defended. Looking at this lane on the left here, where you've only got the 2 players, one player is going to be taking, and instead of this play here, how like needing to build spam, they're going to have to be forced to build a whole bunch of towers and whatnot in case this side of the Kings decide to push out. All right, too much criticism of the peasants' life choices there. Let's jump back in the middle where Dominus is building fusions this week. Last week I saw him build a APHIS in the 10 minutes.
APHIS is a risky
he
build
gets it.
on these.
I said I'd go back and watch, but I also said I probably wouldn't, and the second of those was correct. I don't know how he does it, but he's going for 3 fusions instead, and he will get there. It's going to be less of an income, but I'm surprised he's not going to units. I'd love to see the
that's what I was going to say. You have to
building units at this stage.
You have to sacrifice the army to get that much eco up and running at 10 minutes. When you said APHIS, I was like, how did he get an APHIS and his army? But it would have been just an APHIS, wouldn't it?
Just the APHIS, and then like lab going down as the 10-minute elapsed. But by the time the units got to the adjacent ramp, it was all good. Morning Phoenix going into a double fusion as well. So much metal in the bank. Wow. Yeah, wow. Oh, we've even got T2 advanced construction turrets on. Probably check with Chrono what he applies to these games beforehand. So yeah, if anyone's listening, remember you got that big build power. Morning Phoenix, someone should definitely tell them to put that on. Going for the wall tactic. How are the Kings looking for defenses? 40 seconds left, and 2 of the Ashi Bag getting greedy instead of doing defensive.
Relatively.
Yeah,
at risk.
This is the thing. They're at risk, but where's the peasants' units? This would be such an easy King's Lane to defend. Praetor's the only one that's fully defended. Over on the right, we got Watch behind. Oh, they're doing units for defenses. That's okay. I don't mind that. Tom, do you agree with me? King's going to win?
I think so.
Like,
I'm not seeing how they're going to lose in the first push.
Here's someone that's experienced this game before. Zutra down the bottom lane has built walls all the way around this lava because he knows that you can access in more than one position. It's just not these ramps. The map's been modified so that some units can traverse quite a bit. 10 minutes is up. One lane in particular is going to get pushed quite hard. The rest are going to be sneaky.
I don't love that it's my lane.
It is your lane.
Yours is also the most protected and most likely to survive.
Oh my god, you just took out so many fiends in one shot. That was the worst micro. I think it was Lloyd. Sorry Lloyd, I'm going to pick on you. Never group units that explode. Fiends go bang. No damage done. A lot of metal wasted. That's probably 1,000 plus metal. Oh, well over 1,000 metal in fiends. How much do they cost? 200. Yeah, it was probably about 2,500 worth of metal gone. Same with scuttles.
And now that we're that sort of 11 minutes in, those few gaps that might have existed in the defences have largely been patched up.
The only thing that I don't love out of the Kings right now is at that 10-minute mark, no units have left the base. So trying to secure that
can't win
lane
from the top of the hill. You need to get out, and if you don't hold no man's land, you will lose this game as a king.
Yeah.
I am not. It is not my job, essentially.
No, it's not.
I
That's
am
It's
here
where
to defend.
Dominus, Dashi Bag, and Ice Cube, they're the players that should be building the initial units that go out. Perhaps Praetor Morning Phoenix and Watch Behind would be so kind to us, donate some spam out there, which doesn't take too much metal. But these guys need to make sure at that 10-minute mark that they are not the reason that the Kings lose by the 11-minute mark. After that, sure, bend a little, get a bit bigger. Here you go, termites.
You're going to get up over the hill, but there's enough
Go
defenses
in.
there that they're not going to get
Go
anything
in,
particularly
He can
consequential.
see it. He can see the conversion and he's not hitting it. Just hit the conversion. At least he takes out some metal there, but not enough. Those are 2 scorpions. Did God's work.
That's the thing, you often don't need huge amounts of stuff, and the way that he'd built his base, there was nothing hugely consequential. Yes, he lost some T1 converters.
Yeah.
He also has his T2 converters up and running. It doesn't really matter at that point.
Dashi Bag's
You know.
biggest problem at the moment. APM got 6,000 metal in the bank, unable to spend. Just drop a T3 down lab when that happens. Nothing wrong with early T3. Over in the middle, we've got 2 Aphises up and Smitch going into their T3 lab. Good to see. And Watch Behind also going into a
Spiders
T3
coming
lab.
over the top side here. Don't think they'll be able to get anything done with those chimeras ready and waiting. They've been pushed off the hill while they look at that.
Cacophony is there as well. Do quite a bit of different damage. Okay, it's pretty even. The eco, I would say, even though it's in the peasant's favour on the top right there, I'd say it's actually in the king's favour. Army value.
The Kings need to
obviously.
get out and deal damage, otherwise they will lose.
If you let... Well, is anyone getting big? Yes, there are people getting big. By big, I mean fusions, but that's not bad when it's in a dry sea at this stage.
Fusions pre-14 minutes isn't the worst thing.
Stuart Williamson, so towers only do 1 HP damage to all structure or just enemy. It's just structures. So they can do their usual damage to units. It's just the structures. If someone goes and builds a persecutor over here and shoots it up there, it'll kill the sharpshooters, but it won't kill the pulsar. Watch Behind starting to build a base outside of their base, and we will allow some stuff to be built, but that bastion, where does that shoot? That's actually absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that. It doesn't shoot past any of these ramps. It's all good. If you're over here on the right, you might want to kill that. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. T3 coming out now. I wouldn't be surprised if this right-hand side's the first one that falls for the peasants. Watch Behind is known for getting quite big. Sitting a little bit quiet, but getting quite big. And pushing out with overwhelming forces. Radith, how are you going? First Aphis.
Oh, just chilling.
Just getting out there. Nothing's really reaching. Good use of defensive Junos. You can see they can be shot anywhere into this middle land here. You can shoot them into your own base if you want, but yeah, just don't use them offensively. Big push on the south, but once again, units are, let's see how fast it goes. 77 pawns selected. 73, 71, 60, 50, 40.
If they get that surround, they're going to
30,
deal some significant damage
20,
in there.
2. And they're gone. Spread your units out. These people spread your units out. Mitch is doing a good job there to build supporting units, getting those Junos to be used defensively. Probably the next thing to build as that king is the counter intrusion and also the pinpointers. Someone on your team build 3 pinpointers. It means you're going to get almost perfectly accurate shots when you've got something in radar.
Right
already
side's
have
been
those.
broken.
Say again, Pro?
Those javelins.
Kings
you've
already
already-
have their pinpointers.
There you go. You've done that. And you've done the counter intrusion.
I'm not a chump. I don't want to lose. I'm on stream.
There you go. On the right hand side, exactly as predicted. Watch Behind gets that overwhelming force and then pushes out. If you want my advice and you're listening and you are anywhere on the right hand side of the map, start sending units to this because it will not stop. Taigai Rust or Taigai Bar on the top there doing the exact right thing, just dropping down a spam lab straight away, helping out, and that's going to take APM, it's going to take shots out of the units. So doing the right thing here. On the south though, only one player reacting.
Yeah, that next base is dead.
Going into a 30-second T3 lab Airy Potter probably isn't the right choice. And that's a slow 30 seconds too. Stalling out on the eco there. You want to be dropping down T2 units to defend against this. Sharpshooters, anything that does a lot of damage, your starlights, banishers, that'll do quite well against these javelins. The javelins only have a range of 449, speed of 68, so they can be quite easily defended. The problem is going to be when the Vanguard numbers build up, and you can see Vanguard Razorback.
They are on their way.
Background. Tiger getting ready in position. Oh, takes out one. No.
Destroyed.
How unfortunate. Probably a bit of a lag there. Does get the
Yeah,
medal
we've got a
worth of the
couple
commander
people
though.
with-
Look at this. Some late aggression with some ticks. They're possibly going to get the build power on the left. All that it takes. Just actually attacking. There you go. Almost. Good try. Brood's been seen.
That is a
on the top.
lot of units coming out of that right-hand side.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the peasants there. And once again, if you're on the right hand side, react. And just because the units are going north, if you're on the south, react. Cut them off. Attack their eco. Watch behind doing something real smart. Sending a bunch north, then sending a bunch south, and sending a bunch north, sending a bunch south. Coming in waves.
I'm not seeing anything that's going to stop those units on that top side just rolling around and continuing their way through.
I think the win condition right now, I mean, the peasants do have T3. They just need to find the right spot to shoot because there are a lot of open spots. Let's just see. What can the
Peasants shouldn't have any vision.
What can the
I
peasants
think.
see? They can see where the build power is going. And they can also see that there are kings on the hill. Just shoot up there. There's probably some eco that you'll hit if you just blind fire.
I mean, I am a big proponent for doing the blind fire tech.
Yeah.
It will do a
basically-
lot for you.
You play tic-tac-toe until you see smoke. If you see smoke, keep firing at that spot. When you see it go
Yep.
boom, you pick a new spot.
Yep.
Vanguard's relatively undefended on the north. If only players were reacting, ticks would beat this. Instead,
I mean, those welders have probably got a good chance of being able to take him out too.
yeah, if they could catch him. I don't think they will. They've only got a speed of 47 compared to their Vanguards. 33? They might get there.
This demon is going to absolutely eat this spam on the right-hand
Where are
side
you?
if it
On the
doesn't.
right.
If it doesn't go in between all
no.
of them.
It does beat them. If just this happens, you have to kite.
Yeah.
Walk with it.
If it had been kiting the wave, it would be doing much better.
That is so many gremlins.
There's so many gremlins, my game doesn't like it.
On the left, though, peasants still very much in control. If only a catapult or a vanguard was on Daoshi Bag's lane.
That left side is going to be the holdout for the peasants.
Is there even a T3 lab anywhere? There is, but someone's going into their second A first. JSCPSG. Put a catapult, please. Yeah, even though it's not looking great for the peasants, There are still a lot of them. Their eco still is ahead, only just. Problem though is that army value now in the favour of the Kings for the first time in the game. A big part of it is watch behind over here. Currently sporting 17 javelins. And over on the top of the map, there, Smitch. Just casual 21 vanguards. We do have T3 over here. Fuel just needs to blind fire.
Oh, that's hit the top.
There you go.
Oh,
Something did
what
hit.
was that?
Yeah. You just need a blind fire and you're all good.
Was that a catapult?
I don't even know what hit that up there.
We have whose Junos are firing on?
They'd be the defensive ones on the mid ground.
Nah, they're hitting the outer tier. Anything hitting the middle ground, perfectly acceptable. Shooting beyond the ramps,
Are they hitting the
is no
Kings or are
go
they
for
hitting the
Junos.
peasants?
Hitting the peasants.
Ah, well then they are Smitches. Someone with Pradith, unless you want your teams disappeared, just maybe message him to say only hit. Oh, big
Somebody you could send him a message in all chat. I'm kind of busy.
I mean, he will just lose them. Oh, that's not.
Junos are one of
technically
those.
There you go. He said misclick. Technically, you can hit inside your own tier as well, but yes, the middle tier is where you want to hit them. Juggernaut's out now. Who's got a commander in this area? And where are the players getting big? Building a Juggernaut off of 82 metal is just not a good idea, Harry Potter. It's a half-hour build.
Yeah, at this point, you're better off with more units rather than bigger units. Things like a demon, maybe, because there's a whole lot of spam, but nothing big and heavy hitting at this stage.
And thank you very much to whoever just started the share chat. Much appreciated.
Destroyed. Commander destroyed.
I actually don't see the as much as the peasants are stable on the left, I'm not seeing them
They
coming back
didn't
from this.
have any aggression in the first couple of
Oof,
minutes.
that's a lot of Daedalus.
If you don't put the Kings on the back foot and keep the pressure on, contain them to the top, then they will end up just rolling out.
Yeah. That Daedalus railgun is just so powerful. Range of 950. DPS 812. I mean, spam is the counter to them. Their reload is quite good though. It's kind of like an OP Starlight or a OP Sharpshooter. They do have quite a bit of health too. 17,000. King's pushing out on the left for the first time.
With that jug and that much spam, they are well and truly going to make their way out of that ramp.
Just remember, peasants,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where you start. If you have a catapult or a vanguard, take it to a lane that you can see your team is getting in on. You can see on the south lane here, plenty of units getting in. You just want to shoot up and over things. Shoot at the cliffs. Oh, there you go. Daedalus shots actually go through the spam. I'm waiting to see like 2 units together. No, they're pretty accurate. Only taking 1 or 2 out at a time. This Juggernaut slowly making its way in.
They're doing a good job of keeping the jug within the line of spam so that it won't be at risk of getting degunned.
Yeah. I'm just hating that there's catapults over here on this lane and they're not being used properly. Oh, starting to lose my voice. Top right. No more peasants.
Good, they can come help me.
You were against the biggest commie eco praetors, so you've done well.
I'm very curious what hit me because I was protected by shields and there was nothing in range. There's
There
nothing
was
I
a
thought
ton
was
of
in range.
spiders that came over that hill. I just reckon one spider might have hit a converter.
But the railguns don't shoot through shields, do they?
Hmm? Spider.
Railguns don't shoot through shields.
They were just normal spiders, weren't they?
Oh, I thought they were. I thought they were the special. I thought they were the Legion spiders.
Someone told me, do arquebus shoot through shields if it was then? They do, they go through.
Ah, okay.
Yep,
Well,
so, I mean, if you,
might
if you
be
click on
time
a
for some
shield,
physical walls.
plasma shield. Plasma shield.
Yeah.
Stops
Did not
plasma
realize
bullets.
that arquebus could shoot through.
Yep. Self-detonation of... Oh, there is a donated juggernaut. You can get 1,000 res bots onto that one.
They're gonna have to push that front line forward a reasonable way for it to be safe enough to get up there.
Hmm.
This bottom left, no, bottom right corner, sorry, is gonna be falling quite soon.
It's now or
Just
never
looking
for
at
the
the
peasants.
weight of.
Yeah, Sol Invictus out by watch behind. This is not great. You're not stopping that too early, too quickly. I do love how many mammoths are here though. A casual 16 mammoths used to defend against these Sol Invictus, and they're going to turn around. Do love that. The man who has the opportunity to change this game around is Fuel, and he's not using his units right now. Doing more team damage than offensive damage.
That top left is about to be absolutely wiped here.
Oh, chain reactions.
That's so much wind into converters.
I actually damaged a lot of the... down to 3% on one of those fusions from those explosions.
All of that conversion up there is gone. And very nearly there's another fusion as well.
Yeah, that's the and now there's bastions. Not supported by energy. Oh my goodness, why are these king peasants not doing anything? I know it sounds like I'm routing for the peasants. That's because I am. They're at a massive disadvantage. Just use your units.
The metal production is fairly even at the moment.
Yeah, peasants have actually clawed back. That would be because the kings have stopped scaling. They've run out of space.
But yeah, the kings are largely out of space. The big difference is going to be that army value, though. The kings are well and truly ahead with the amount of units that they've got out of the field. And just the amount of pressure that they can bring with those. We're going to see some D-guns top left here.
Oh no. Oh well.
Praetorian's quite a sexy unit, but I must say they're probably my least favourite of the...
Look, I don't even... I go back and forth between whether they're good or not, but they're just a fun unit. They have everything on them.
They're probably good at Koth, actually, I must say. Just generally in the game, though, what are they? They're... Where are they? 7,000 metal? I'd rather a Daedalus with 6,500.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I've swapped to Daedaluses because I was trying to just have some fun. Now I'm trying to not
get
die. Yeah.
Well, the good thing is when you start running into comms, they've only got so many, so if you just keep on throwing things in that direction, sooner or later they'll make it through.
Correct.
Once you end up with enough economy that you can just brute force your way, it just means that it takes a couple of minutes rather than like 30 seconds.
Peasants losing their win condition. Every second that counts, and they're not microing. Not good now. I think they've actually lost their window. I do not see an avenue for these guys coming.
No, I can't see the either the units or the basically the attack vector where they can get up onto that hill to be able to deal enough damage.
That bottom right just falls. The 8th is going down. Last commander down as well. And just like that, the Peasants went from 20%-ish ahead on metal to 60% behind, so an 80% swing in the last 4 minutes. Metal produced. Army value now 111% in the King's favour.
And with those units out on the dry sea roaming around, it's very difficult to get enough units up to defend against a roaming T3 pack that's not coming through the front lines anymore.
All the Kings unable to spend some of that metal, or some of them anyway. Put those sliders on low. Got a Juggernaut on the front line out of fuel now.
So baby, give me that.
This is when you need to be using the, oh, thank you for
You need to
the
keep
anonymous sub.
Yeah, you need to keep those T1 units in front of them. Otherwise,
I
it's.
was thinking the
just gonna-
catapults. If all those catapults were still around, everything's going to aim for the Juggernaut. Walk the Juggernaut in while everything aims at it. Keep the catapults on hold fire. Walk them up to the cliff. Aim for the tips of those cliffs. I just heard the Juno. Where's it going? Here we go. Nice EMP, but is anything going in to stop shit? It's not. I would love to see more Thors being used. Only a matter of time, peasants.
So baby, give me that. And let me give you that.
Legion is without their like
Thank you for subscribing.
without a very long range option. This little hump in the hills
So baby,
may
give
be
me that.
hard to push over this
And let
bit.
me give you that.
I'm subscribing, J Frost. Thank you.
There we
It's like
go.
dominoes. 3 subs in a row. Thank you all.
I
You guys are
heard
absolute
Domino's
legends.
is going to start delivering their pizzas digitally.
Oh, that'd be quite handy, especially on Sundays. Won't have to worry about dinner. Mind you, I don't have to anyway. I'm very lucky. I have a wife who loves to cook. Always a
Oh my god,
fantastic
that's a
thing.
lot of jugs.
This is the way that the Kings win. They just need to get in there. They need a catapult behind these jugs to shoot up into the eco. Please, Fishhouse Mike, Fuel, Axelbow, send in your catapults behind these jugs. Oh no!
You can just see the comm searching, trying to get in close enough to be able to get those D guns off.
That's a difficult thing to do. All it needs, these jugs just need to get close enough to the edge here that they can allow these catapults to get in. The last corner, it's literally the last chance of winning now. My opinion is send it all in.
Oh, douchey can't quite get the D gun off because it goes up and over the hill. Damn, that was close.
Would a self-D of a jug that distance to a commander kill the commander?
I
know.
don't think so, no.
Oh no, now the Juggernaut's being pulled right back. You're just prolonging the inevitable. 2 Sol Invictus down
Yeah.
here on the south.
At this
Double
point, we're
D
basically
guns. Literally nicely done.
waiting for the Kings to finish their
Finished with their food.
wrap up, essentially. A lot of that is just the travel time to get there. Behe does a reasonable job of holding stuff off over on
Oh
the
yeah,
left.
Behe's going to slow
But-
us down a lot.
The keywords there is slow, not stop.
Yes, where was the win condition? And it was over here, but these players here put too much into defenses, not enough into units. And I mean, even these last 2 javelins are good. They're going out a lot. Box. How many D guns is he going to get? I want to see some huge D guns here. Are you going invisible? Wow. How invisible though? Oh no, we're gonna have 2 comms do it at the same time. And then that was just that was good and bad. That was very good and bad. I feel like that was more on the side of bad. Keep your commanders apart.
When there's that many units, it's really rough to try and get that second D
Hey,
gun off, because when there's
I
enough
was-
firepower to kill you in one volley.
Very, very good to see commanders there, going there. But yes, you could have got probably... You probably could have actually cleaned this up with 2 commanders, at least the next 3 Titans that came through. Yeah, peasants not fighting for that Eastern Plateau. Another advanced geo and AFIS start going down. That is the biggest eco. Only one huge one remaining. Oh, a couple big ones. 350% income. Ray, I dare you to self-D your AFIS.
I haven't done anything in the game yet, so I'd feel bad about doing that.
Just take your commander out of your base so it doesn't chain react, but if you don't, you're an absolute pussy. Just say. Or the
I think
stream.
probably the defining thing of the early part of this game was the lack of pressure at that 10-minute mark.
I got attacked pretty hard.
The
You were the
game was
only one that
closer
had
than-
anything to deal with. Is the
Yeah, it's 35
thing, though.
minutes. One commander left. He's on the run. Now's your time to self-D, Kings. Please, someone self-D. Yes,
oh, there it
Praetus.
is.
Bang, 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 bang. Got about half the base. Sprinkles on top. JSPSG is going... Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Loses energy.
Scene.
Oh, dead. Kings win. 2 in a row. First 2 Kings and wins in a row in months. Greatest. As good as Twig is King of the Hill, apparently.
Battle ended.
Really nicely done.
I also
Kings.
pick when I play King of the Hill, I tend to pick a defensive spot because I feel like the players directly in front of the ramp, their role throughout the whole game is just not to break, and anything on top of that is a bonus.
Mm.
Mm.
And I quite like that role as a streamer because it feels like I am allowing everyone else to not be killed by me losing my ramp.
Alright, on to the next one. Make sure if this one makes YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yes. I still did a decent amount of damage. I was still third. I can live with that.
Once again, thank you so much to those that just subscribed again. We really do appreciate that. Slowly but surely, Tom will be able to keep up with the game. One day we'll help him with buying a PC. What I want to buy though is when I'm finally moving to my house, which a disgusting story. Who wants to hear a disgusting story? Probably not stream worthy.
Look, it's not stream worthy because it's how Twig has sore knees and a sore throat.
Not that story. Yes. My dad was helping me with getting into my house by being that extra labor. There was an injury, and now I'm by myself for quite some time.
And unfortunately, rain this weekend, so no concrete pours.
I
All
swear,
bad times.
every week it's dry during the week, Monday to Friday, beautiful while I'm at work looking out the window. And then Saturday, Sunday, weeks come out to build and concrete and whatever. Let's rain. Let's piss on your dreams to move into your own house.
You shall not be productive.
I'm going to post a link to our dates in game. We're going to lower the King's bonus a bit because it's 2 Kings win. So I am going to jump over to the website again and use it once more. Okay, what do we got? We've got Krakatoa. You can see here on my stream, I actually have to guess where the map is because the drop down doesn't work through the OBS interact. Anyway, here we go. We got Ice is still there. We got Watch behind. Doushy bag. Mark Singer. I think Tom's gonna have a go. You can't play this one. This is not the one for you. Raptor Crater, man. Tom. This one does get big. Now, the thing with this this website, it only gives the people that have been a king before. I'll just leave you a name in there. Photos in there. That's there. Oh, put some random names in. Lots. So it works. And all people that only have one experience to equate to these people that we don't recognize. We have 9. We have 45. Really need to get to about 60 peasants on this map, by the way. Yeah, it's recommending a 0 bonus. That's broken at the moment. We do. It is meant to be quite low because the Eco King gets quite big quite quick if the peasants don't fall. So I think we were doing about 35. So we'll do about 30 tonight, I reckon. 25's been getting applied. Don't mind that.
All right. While they're sorting that one out, I'll keep you all entertained stream. Don't know if any of you guys play Warhammer at all, but basing is essentially the thing where you try and make nice looking bases for your models. Well, I thought, why not make something that they fit in? So just playing around with CAD, I've made this little oops, wrong thing to move around. Can I please select the image and move that one around? Nope, no, I can't. Help me, I'm bad at this. Let's lock everything else so only this can be moved.
We can see that.
There we go. So I've made a little platform that all the bases sit in, and it just takes the hex grid out from underneath it. So there's the other one. So just a little display platform. This is a draft. This is just a test, and I managed to eyeball all the sizes, which I'm pretty happy about.
Don't go any longer under that desk.
So, it's just a chair and a shoe.
Nice.
So that was a good bit of fun. So I'm going to print that out in resin later. But just while we're setting up, I thought that might be an interesting little thing.
Watch behind just left the.
not watch behind. We need watch behind.
If somebody else wants to jump down there, they were just a king. So good to see someone quite experienced. Peasant. Thank you, Arax.
So baby, give me that, and let me give you that.
Thank you for subscribing. I kill you for fun. That's 9 months in a row, bro. Thank you very much. It all helps. We now have 11, Tom. If you're looking after that, we're going to move those bottom two that joined in late. I reckon we're almost at
Thank
our
you for
60.
the subscribe. I kill you for fun. Massively appreciate that. I do believe I missed yours while I was playing Zerom and J Frost. Thank you for the subs as well. And then we had an anonymous gifter who managed to gift one to Pumperdane. Thank you for all of the subs, everyone.
Keep on having people jump in and out, which is fun.
And anything anyone gives, it all just goes back to actually helping run these events
Yep.
for everyone.
Audio
Me-
interface for me so that I don't sound so bad. CPU for Tom. Stream Deck for Twig. They're all on the horizon.
I think soundproofing, so I can my biggest
Oh, yeah,
threat-
that's a good one.
I have two threats to not being able to host these events, or to this degree. I'll probably still be able to do Koth, but maybe not my other streams I do. But second child and talking too loudly would also, in my streaming experience with you guys, they'll be dead when I wake up the baby. Praetor's jumping back in again, hey?
If we don't have another king, someone's got to
My-
do it.
My throat is hurting so much. I was hoping not
Okay.
to talk, to be honest.
No, that's right. We've got someone else who's jumped in.
Beautiful.
So
thank
that
you
is
very
just
much.
fine.
I
was just trying to get the game kicked off. Zerom,
No.
thank you for the concern. Yes, I am on the mend. Unfortunately, things like flus and colds keep me down for quite a long time. I was one of the people that got pretty badly messed up by COVID and the
Yummy.
COVID vaccine a while ago. So ever since then, my colds have gone from mild annoyances to considerably disturbing events.
Kind of gone from inconvenience to closer to incapacitation.
I used to get flus where I'd need where I'd take like 1 day off, maybe 2. And then any other time I took off was just to prevent other people from taking it. I just work from home. But these days when I get one, it's usually like 5 to 7 days of I just don't have any ability to do anything. It is not fun. Alrighty. There we go, the mass load-in is done. Zabsir, congrats for getting into the game. Glad that you are here as well. Good a cool dragon. We are doing well, much better than the past 2 weeks.
All right, I'm back.
Smoke tobacco. I think you might be looking at your screen through a smoke haze because game looks pretty good.
Game is awesome. Okay, has everyone loaded? No, there's one. There's a ROM. Ready? Put a spot down.
So Rum, no.
There you go. He's listening. Mine's on the max. This map is probably the prettiest King of the Hill map.
It's certainly one of them. Though I think I'll always have a special place in my heart for Throne.
It's Claymore for me. I reckon I've had the most fun on Claymore.
Mm.
I like the idea.
Claymore
it's like two
is
stages of King of the Hill. It's defeat through
yeah.
a triangle, and then it's to win the game.
Claymore is my favorite, but Throne is where it started. So I'll never be able to get over how we lucked into Throne so damn hard.
Throne just
Because
worked without any tweaks as well.
Yep. We took off the Arbiters because eventually they became an issue, but it just worked, which is fantastic.
We didn't have the Arbiter week until it was like 3 months in there.
Oh yeah, that was ages in.
And then we
It was sort of
worked
like the
out that they worked
bombing.
really well, and people used them for like the entire weekend. And we were like, we can't really stop these with like anything we have available to us at that 10-minute mark.
One of the things which I find hilarious, that was back in the day where it was totally fine for the Kings to lose a king at like 13 minutes and still have a chance to win. Like the game was balanced around one king basically dying in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Falling before you were big enough that your eco started touching and you'd take out someone else with you.
But now you haven't got a hope if a king falls in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I reckon we kick this one off.
Battle started.
Good evening and welcome to Krakatoa, where we've got ourselves a nice 9 versus 57. So plenty of peasants around the outside, plenty of kings around the inside. Krakatoa is one of the maps that is going to be the hardest for the kings to manage early on, and one of the hardest for the peasants to survive late. Looking at the map, every single one of the kings has an unprecedented amount of eco, with 6 mexes and geo. Bear in mind, the geo is a trap. It's our good old favorite Admiral Akbar showing up right here. If you build a T2 geo here and leave it past the 10-minute mark, it will blow up your base. No questions asked. Arbiters can hit from over the hill. It's just unbelievably funny. Joining me in the casting booth, we have Twig and Tank Tom. Tank Tom joining us as he has decided that this state is the state he wants to be in, at least for now. Twig and myself recovering nicely from a couple of weeks of being unwell. What do you reckon is going to happen in this one, Twig? We have a mix of new and old kings. We have a mix of players around the outside of the map. What do you reckon, peasants or kings?
I'm gonna look. Kings are going well tonight, so I'm going for peasants. I'm rooting for them, but I also think they are going to get the win because I'm seeing a few names here that I don't recognize. And as we find in King of the Hill, you can have some really powerful kings in there, but when a lane leaks, it becomes a problem, and the center king has to go and patch that hole. If 2 lanes leak, that's when problems really start. 3, almost game over. Like you gotta really hammer these kings hard at the start to ensure that this center king capped pepper does not get too big. Even though no mexes, this player here, if they eco correctly at the start, they can get these geos up by the 10-minute mark. You do expect them to all be T2 roughly by that 10-minute mark. Only problem is probably not the right build going on here. You want to get a bit more wind, you want to get a bit more build power, and then just focus on these geos. Some res bots definitely help too. But going into 2 energy storages, not the best idea unless you are receiving all the overflow from your teammates, which he did manage to do, and that'll hopefully be enough to get this first geo up. Once that's up, you want to make sure that you have enough T1 conversion, so you almost want your commander on repeat from this point forward, otherwise you're not going to be realizing that conversion fast enough, especially with no build power around.
One of the things that is quite important for this player in the middle, at 10 minutes you need to be ready to do a transition into units almost at the drop of a hat, because with 8 frontline players, there is almost certainly going to be one lane that either loses their geo or manages to be overrun because of lack of defenses, something along those lines, you need to close that gap before getting back into your eco, because if you don't, you will have units up here and it'll be much harder to deal with them than if you deal with them in the choke point.
Do you agree with me that this is going to be a peasant victory?
I want to say yes, but it's also been a while since I've seen any of these ones.
I'm definitely putting my money
Hey,
on peasants for this one.
You don't watch our stream at like 2 a.m. in the morning over in
I'm
Western
in
Australia?
bed.
What do you mean? What's the
I'm
commitment? All right, this is what you don't want to do: building multiple geos at the same time in the middle and the T2 lab whilst your middle is empty. You are a teammate
Oh,
of
God.
this person. Give him a digital slap in the face. Focus everything. This is just an immediate stall.
everything on your conversions because you need to get enough up to get yourself some metal.
Conversion,
One geo
eat
at
the
a time.
T1 lab, eat the wind, whatever it
General
takes
rule
to get
of
the metal that you
bar.
need to do it, and don't be building the T2 at the same time.
Generally, rule of bar, if you're building something expensive, just build that one thing with all the build
Yep.
power you got.
You probably, if you watched the previous game, you would have seen me, after losing all of my conversions, stalling out. I went into build power. As soon as I spent my metal on build power, I went into conversion, and I manually moved all of my construction turrets onto conversion to get back, because I managed to keep my APHIS stack. It is so important to prioritize what you're building so that you don't stall out, because doing it this way, that T2 will be up at probably 8 minutes. Doing it, I'm probably over exaggerating, probably up by 7 minutes. If you followed the order and just built one of these geos at a time, made sure you had the conversion, you probably would be closer to 7 or 6.
Interesting here out of Dashi Bag. When I say interesting, doing exactly the right thing. Building 13 T1 constructors and sending them up onto the hill. If Dashi Bag loses their base on this hill here, they have a backup base. And it is not too hard to defend here, here, and here if that lane falls.
Building a couple of rattlesnakes here and a couple of rattlesnakes here, bastions, anything along those lines. Sorry. Anything long range along those lines creates an incredibly hard route up the hill. And the thing is, if everybody does it, only one you only need to build defenses on one wing, because there will be another player building defenses on the other wing. The low ground area is to an extent a trap. If you scale too hard in this low ground area, then you're very vulnerable, because you're vulnerable to whatever is attacking you from behind these cliffs, whatever walks over these cliffs, whatever comes through the front, whatever comes from your left, whatever comes from your right. Whereas up here, you control the low ground.
To answer the question Tankfish just asked in Twitch, do peasants work together? Looking down here south of where we were just looking, Dominus there, being given all the mixes in this area, and you can see up on the top of the screen there, sent 419 metal, sent 337 metal. These guys are doing what we call commie ecoing, sending all the resources to one local player who will then distribute T2 so that you can upgrade all your mixes, get into those fusions, and either go back to T1 units before the 10-minute mark, which I definitely recommend, or punching out T2 as well. This is quite healthy down here. Dominus actually has 4,000 metal in the bank. Build power. It's going to be big enough to get some of that big stuff happening. Now, I will touch on something else. You can see here over Potato building the advanced geothermal power plant. Why you do this, son? We tell you so many times, don't do this.
No. I agree. I actually fully agree with building it, because it is a very cheap, very fast way to get a lot of power early.
7.5 minutes?
If you can get it up by like 6 minutes, it's worth it.
The same. Okay, Ice Cube, where they've built theirs on the next lane anti-clockwise. That's actually the closest one to the arbiters. If they stand on this hill here, they can easily reach that without even...
You can walk Sheldons up onto that hill and hit it. I'm pretty sure you can actually walk Hounds onto that hill and hit it.
I thought we turned... Is anyone building prudes? No. Cerberus, by the way, has been turned off. I'm just going to select T2 Constructor. Is the tweak on? Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so
the
you can
Brood
build
is
a
there.
Brood if you're Cortex, and if you build the Cerberus is turned off. Cerberus is now off. Build the Broods, guys, because it's the fastest way to lose the game.
The interesting thing about a Prude, right? It produces 500 less energy than the advanced Geo, but it also costs 350 metal less. So whilst technically it isn't as efficient by a reasonable margin, it's still a really good thing to buy, and it will come up
You're
earlier.
getting yourself a cheap fusion reactor. That's what you're getting with
Pretty
Brood.
much. Pretty much, and it won't explode, so it's definitely an option. I don't have a problem with going advanced Geo into Prude, but you just cannot have the advanced Geo up at 10 minutes.
Peasants win this. A fourth thing just put down another advanced Geo, spicy Geo.
I honestly think we might. Problem is, we can't turn them off because, oh my god, the player in the middle.
Player needs.
Oh my god, they didn't build advanced.
They built Prudes.
Oh my god. This is the player that we leave him on for. So off of the...
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh. I don't...
I just...
Stream's over, guys. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, look, one of the things we've stated before about this map almost needs not professional kings, but it needs experienced kings. It needs kings with a 5-game,
even doing stuff like this,
with at least 5 games worth of experience.
He's just tapped his energy converter in front of the T2 constructor. Now they have to walk all the way around to build the next one. I mean, it's a tactic. Maybe he's planning to let his teammates fall and be a solo hero in the middle.
If he wanted to do that, he should be Legion, so then he can have all of the bastions.
Now, which geos are going to pop?
Oh, 10 minutes. That's exciting. Bottom left 2 lanes.
Huge. Dashi bag, though, has done the right thing.
Good use of these units going in.
Defensive
bulwarks.
Yeah, the bulwarks are a bad idea. They cost so much, and they take so long to come up, and even once they're up, they are not that strong against T1. That's Daoshi falling because of defensive choices and a strong attack. We did have Femboy who was attacked as well. He's lost a chunk of his base, but still has the fusion, which means that it's not completely over. Does need to get that conversion back, but there is a second wave coming. Not to mention they've identified how much damage they've done to Daoshi, and now they're coming up to get him from above. So that's going to be a bit of a... Oh no, they're circling back, so they're not going to try and team kill team kill Femboy. However, middle of the map, top middle of the map, we do have a spider push that's heading towards the back of Script Lord's base, as well as getting some damage onto Cactus. Looks like we're going to have an entire left side of the map falling to the peasants, which is not ideal for the 11-minute mark. We also do have units already getting up into Daoshi's second economy as well. So all of that conversion down, that is Daoshi effectively eliminated.
This is not good.
Oblique.
Peasants in the dry sea, if you want to play this game, I suggest you start building units now, because I feel like you're not going to get in there in time. It's
yeah, all of the conversion was taken out of the middle by those first couple of ticks as well. So the middle player is running off of 8 metal a second.
And build power. Then again, look, I'm not to be too harsh, but I don't think that the middle player was going to be a factor.
Sorry, Cap Pepper, but he decided not to build the advanced geos because they probably go boom. Instead, he's going to build an Aphis, which will go
Aphis boom, with no conversion, I might add, and a +8 metal income, which means that it will take approximately 7 years to construct.
And not going invisible with that commander either. This player is 20 OS. I expected more. And yeah, I'm criticizing.
Right. Get these D guns off.
Femboy on the left. Commander's about to go pop. There it goes. What's funny though is none of the spicy geos have gone pop yet.
None of the spicy geos have been attacked yet.
And there you go. Those spiders take out that middle commander. Tank Tom, I think you would have done a better job. even though you'd still be at the 10-minute mark.
I wouldn't be slowing down yet. Is the normally it takes
Ooh,
15 or 20 minutes.
Oratab has managed to kill his direct opponent and is now out on the peasant side of the map, getting damage done, starting to move towards HAL 3000 and Terrator. Invisible Com here, but the question is, will the Invisible Com do what it needs to do? It is going to be... Nope, there is not enough energy for it to be walking around. It's going to be picked off by probably the... Oh no, it's managed to walk just out of range, or out of sight view. Going to escape today.
Thank you.
But these
This
units will
right
build
is-
up.
Yeah.
We've also had a spider, a termite over the hill that's managed to do a lot of damage to the peasants on the right, and ice has managed to make their way out as well. So it's not like this is unwinnable for the Kings. You know, I mean, it is right now, but had the entire left side of the map not fallen by 14 minutes, it's not like it's
And the top and
unwinnable for the
bottom.
Kings.
we are
If
down
they
to
could be
4.
fighting out rather than having a front line and a back line that needs to exist for them.
Correct.
I mean, we've just had a comment that I completely agree with. Just nuke the Kings and start over. I mean, an easy nuke would just be selecting potatoes, advanced geo and advanced geo, and just self-dig those, the destroy button rather than the essentially.
Look, if the Kings want to control D and start again, that is entirely up to them. I do feel like the fact that all 3 Kings on the right hand side are winning their lanes gives them the right to fight this one out to the end.
Sure. For sure. As soon as the there you go, you can see the first of the peasants pushing back down into the rear of Alright space with some maces, and they're going to find that twin guard. Commander, is that going to go invisible early enough? I'm surprised that Agent is not targeting the build power. Oh my, just shoot the conversion, bro.
That one twin guard is gonna win. Is gonna win the day.
Just shoot the conversion.
It's got so many kills.
Shoot the conversion.
And they're all maces too.
Shoot
Uh-huh.
the conversion. Oh my god.
No, we shall not.
Like one mace shot does like 20%. Alright.
Good use of the repair there to keep that twin guard alive.
I mean, when you play against a doorknob, doesn't take much to kill his units.
Oh no, the one fiend managed to wipe out Ice's conversion. It just went around the defenses. Here we go. We have long range spiders trying to make their way down, but they're going to be picked off by the mammoth. Oh dear.
They're taking away APM at least. Let's look at Script Lord. I reckon Script Lord's on their last legs. We've actually got players that are
Oh yeah, that's
them. And that commander's going to get hit by 3 rockets. And then the termites behind. Okay, this player is dead, just down to some pork and a couple constructors. I like how their direct opponent
Dominus
is still building mines.
Dominus has managed to get the economy up and rolling in the middle of the map. Now watch behind, faster than the king in the middle of the map did.
He would have been in Discord right now. Why the fuck are there prude X up here? I wanted to fuck it.
Look, one thing I will say, so Potato does still have that advanced geo, is going into second APHIS. That's pretty impressive for the 17-minute mark, considering that he's already beaten his direct opponent, and managing to survive with attacks from behind, attacks from the side.
Yeah, he's basically has to defend, what, 270 degrees to keep himself alive at this point?
Yep.
The only safe spaces between him and Ice Cube.
And even then, all they have to do is get units between him and Ice Cube on that cliff.
Yeah, the pushing out is definitely stopped.
It has. It has. Ice Cube still has a bastion out there, but for how long? I also do like the fact that Orotab is still trying to get units out. These spiders making their way across, they're actually gonna find damage, I reckon. Coming from behind, though, a large number of the termites with a handful of... Oh, watch behind, degunning his own allied termites. This game wants to become the king in the middle of the map, I think, between him and Dominus.
Thought they were red. This game would be tough if
Look.
you're colorblind.
I've definitely degunned T3 on my own team before, thinking it was T3 that was coming in rather than going out.
You don't have comms on the top right there. If you go invisible, your commanders won't get shot that easily. Alright, these guys are just playing with their food.
But yeah, at this point you basically just throw everything you have at them all at once and call it done.
I mean, if you guys want another game, I do need to leave in 30 minutes. There we go, big pops. Potato. Dead.
Oh man, yeah, the game has slowed down a bit.
If everyone was to give move commands all at once, you would definitely feel it.
Alright, his base goes down. And now we've got a whole bunch of J Frost Arbiters up on the hill there. And he's going to just take out everything. So close to finding that fusion reactor. But the ticks are definitely going to get it. Just Oblaks and Potatoes commanders alive without any energy. I love that. Dominus just built the entire top of the map just so he could blow it up again. Or maybe it was someone else. One more commander. Oblak. About to be found.
Has done well, but unfortunately there is only so much you can do in this situation.
At least we can get all 4 maps played before before bedtime. Okay, let's try and noob proof the kings this time.
I'm tired.
Well, you can't go to bed because you're not doing anything tomorrow, so...
That is a lie. I have to travel more than
Travel
halfway
isn't
across the
doing
country.
anything.
Okay, we want 9.
9 kings in the middle.
Start putting names. Okay, if you want to go, jump down into Team 2 now, and we will start assigning a bonus, which Tom and Pradeth will temporarily assign. We had a King's loss, so they'll go high again. I'm guessing it's going to be in the range of about... Well, there's not many peasants. Probably in the range of 50.
Oh. Yeah, I hadn't realized how few there were.
40 peasants is
leave it at
50
now.
peasants is a really, really good raptor crater. 40 peasants is still quite a good one, but we have to be a little bit more careful with the bonus.
Yeah, it's probably 45s.
Just leave it at 50 for now, because we are finding...
Leave it at 50, because we will probably get a couple more peasants.
Yeah, and there are going to be some players that leak, as we're experiencing.
Not to mention a few of the there's 11 kings right now, and we only need 9, so we'll be moving a few people up.
And thanks to those guys watching on YouTube as well. Don't give it quite as much love as we've got the dual stream going for Twitch. But yeah, keep on watching, guys. Keep streaming it there. And I am talking a little bit quieter for those people commenting just because baby is asleep in the next room. Oh, PS Pro.
I hope you
if put my,
soundproof
oh,
the new room.
Definitely will be.
There's a 3D printing system. I can't remember what it's called, but essentially we can put. I'll show you. It's cool. But it's these grids and they're offset from the wall, so you can put whatever you want behind it, whether it's cable runs.
Lots of new players in this one.
Even if things feel hopeless for the peasants, all it usually takes is one economy exploding for the kings to chain react and kill many economies in the back, or for that to kill the momentum of an attack so that they have to defend, which allows groups to come back. There is a lot of potential play. Hey, look, we're up to 50. We're up to 50, and we've got the right number of kings. So let's just give them those bonuses, and let's kick this one off.
Interestingly, I applied the website that Pew Pew wrote to this, and it gave 53 bonus recommendation. So we're pretty close.
So should we give them the 50? Should we give them the 53?
Should be fine. This should be fine.
Okay. All right, let's kick this one off then, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. You want, as Thul said in chat, if the peasants build, if all the peasants build T2 labs, it's you're wasting a lot of metal that you just can't afford with only a 10-minute no rush.
There we go.
And guys, this will be the last one of the evening or day, wherever you are. But
Yes,
we continue into another match later on, just to knock King of the Hill.
I think I will leave you guys to this though, because I am crashing fairly hard.
No, Tom, no. Stick around at least for the first 10 minutes.
Well, you can sit there quietly and moderate the early stuff that gets put on the hills.
Yeah, I can probably do that.
One team, one dream.
All right, so bottom left-hand corner, Zarom, Morning Phoenix, Jalio, Lloyd, Zabus. Massive corner this one will be. Oh, and the Fringe, you were out of frame when I was looking at that one. Massive corner. Dio, Brando as well. Man, you guys are stacking that corner. I know Dio's gone to the top left now. It does look like potential there. We're at least going to have a mini co-op eco. On the top right, little less up there. Only 3 players. If they work together, though, it's still a co-op corner. They just need to actually work together. Bottom right, same thing as well, but we do have Grumps smidge there, so very, very good opportunities. One thing which is quite interesting, we have Kaija and Multivitamin in the very bottom, 1 mex each. You'd almost be better giving 2 mexes to 1 player and allowing more co-op eco, but it is one of those ones, if they're not communicating with everybody else, then it probably isn't a viable thing to suggest. Alrighty then, shall we kick this one off?
Just waiting for John Wick to select position, but I think they're I'll just be ready to remove the unit rather than destroy.
He's obviously a fake because he's British.
Indubitably. Alright. Tom, do you want to do the 4-star?
Tom is brushing his teeth in the bathroom next to me.
Kratos going to do the 4-star, and then I'm going to get ready to
I will
remove
do
his
the
commander.
4-star. Did that?
Battle started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Joining me in the casting booth is Twig, and momentarily Tank Tom after he finishes brushing his teeth. In the middle of the map, we've got ourselves 9 kings that have decided that it's a good idea to take on 52 peasants around the map. Now, the kings are interesting, but it is this bottom left-hand corner that I reckon is going to be the most interesting. Lloyd, Jalio, Morning Phoenix, Sarom, Zabus, and the Fringe all working together with Dominus on the front line. Going to be our Dominus, Lingeron, and Starfella all managing to get on the front line. That's going to be
There's
stacked.
a lot of names. There's awesome Scarv. This is where all the regulars are.
Yep. Scarv went out even further than I did. It is going to be hectic in that bottom left-hand corner. What I'm really hoping is that between them, they manage to get themselves 1,000 T1 units and come down that ramp. That would be amazing. It would be hard to do because they're even considering that we're looking at about 15 kings in that bottom hand corner. 1,000 units is still a big ask. Anyway, middle of the map. Oh yeah, actually, we should probably go over what's going on for those of you that don't know. So King of the Hill is a asymmetrical multiplayer game in Beyond All Reason, where we give a bonus to the kings in the middle of the map. In this case, it is a 50% bonus. That bonus is exponentially multiplied.
Oh, just lost prey. Is he still there? Don't know. Microphone just dropped out.
Commander self-destructed.
$110 energy with a 50% bonus.
He's back.
So it definitely does come up nicely. Couple of rules. We have a 10-minute no rush denoted by this beautiful lava. It does go away at 10 minutes. And we've also turned off air, so there'll be no air attack. A big one, and this is an important one, King of the Hill is a unit offensive based game mode, which means do not use defenses offensively.
We've got a nice little tweak in there right now to help us out with that. So if you do build a gauntlet up on these hills and it shoots at a mech with a 275 hit point property, it'll take 275 shots from an artillery unit to kill that. So hopefully we catch that in time.
So let's talk about how peasants win and how kings win. Starting with the peasants. Most important thing is these corners. These corners, you need to have players working together in what we call co-op eco to try to get themselves into as best possible position. So that means working together to get one T2 lab, sharing out the T2s, making sure the entire corner manages to get as much metal and as much energy as possible in that first 10 minutes. Then they can decide to scale, or they can decide to get offensive. We do like being offensive. We are Australians, and so we encourage players to play offensively. It certainly puts pressure on the kings. In the middle of the map, you kind of scale a little bit more solo. You can definitely do co-op, and we've seen good co-op out of the Kings, but in general, it's been a solo sort of thing. Get your wind, get your T2, get your mexes to T2. 1 to 2 fusions, and if you're really, really good at the game, you could grab yourself an APHIS. We don't see that very often, but it is definitely doable. And at that 10-minute mark, make sure you've got defenses. The earlier you build your defenses, the less metal you have to scale your economy, so we don't recommend building those until at least the 7-minute mark. Now, the big question then becomes, Twig, what do you reckon? Kings or peasants this map?
You know, the bottom left's got this. We do have Potato in our lane, who's very experienced as a King of the Hill player, but one of Potato's things to develop him beyond a reason, I play with Potato quite a bit, is he can get overwhelmed when under the pump. So when he's getting attacked by multiple players at the same time, I reckon he's going to struggle a little bit. He's all good at the standard King of the Hill build, gets it all right and does his job for sure. But I reckon with this many players, I don't think I've ever seen such a stacked corner of King of the Hill before. This is like, we know every player.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
He's going to be going into absolute APM issues. But he's also going into early twin guards. I don't like that. If you start building these at the 8-minute mark, you'll get them up in time, and you'll have a bigger.
It is at least only with one builder, so it's not like there's build power there and all sorts of other stuff.
And there
so
is a 50% bonus as well right now, which is quite huge.
As you can see, T2 is up. The T2 mechs, the first T2 mechs is being constructed. We've got the second constructor coming out to do the other side. So not in too bad of a position at all. And this goes the same for most of the Kings right now. We'd like to be seeing those fusions dropping so they're complete by 7 minutes. Though I do... I do think we might have a very weak lane in the top right-hand side, going into 2 T1 labs and a T2 lab at the same time out of Nivla. But we shall see how that one goes over time.
What do you see at
looking around the map?
We're seeing walls more and more in the game.
They are a fantastic delay tactic because most of the attacks at 10 minutes are only T1 units, and they have, so the walls can stop that for a bit of time, give you some time to react.
Chiprin on the left built 155 walls. That is 1,240 metal.
That's a lot of metal to go into walls. It also isolates you, which means that you're not going to be able to get help from Potato. You're not going to be able to provide help to GG.
What's going to be funny for if you're a peasant in this lane, you just randomly click into the middle, just due to unit routing, the units are automatically going to go north and south.
Oh man, we should coordinate it one day where everyone walls off their ramp just to see what happens.
Just except for one ramp, and have like everything defending there, like one ramp every now and then. That's even a tactic to use yourself, like just wall off one ramp and not the other.
So while we've got a moment, something I want to talk about. We have the bottom left-hand side, which did really well going into the Commie Eco situation, getting themselves into the fusion era of the game, distributing out all of the T2. Right-hand side, they haven't done too badly either. So there's only been the 2 T2 labs built, and considering that they probably aren't coordinating, that's not the worst. Top right-hand side, you can see 3 T2 labs. And that means that there's basically no economy up in this side, and there won't be for quite a while. And on the left-hand side, 2 again over here, which is again better than the 3. But it's one of those ones where if you can get away with just 1, it makes a huge difference, because instead of 9,000 metal being spent in the top right-hand side, it's only 3,000 metal. So definitely worth considering.
What I love
Potato
seeing
second
as well,
APHIS.
is when one of those corners does build a T2 constructor. If you're not going to build it for everyone, give it to someone that has the APM to go and tap everybody's mechs while it's walking somewhere. You don't have to give them out, just tap. Be kind, share.
Now, looking at this, we've got about a minute to go, and we've got the second fusion out of Potato now going into units. We've got the first APHIS coming up from Oratab in the middle of the map. On the left-hand side, Chipperin has fallen a little bit behind in that economy, only has a metal income of only has an energy income of 800. Not ideal, and it's all wind-based, which means if wind drops, it will fall off of a cliff, pun intended. Top right-hand side as well, Nivola also does not have the economy to back his plays. Very little in the way of defenses as well, just some walls. I certainly think that there's a couple of lanes that are going to be quite easy to fold in this one. Oratab is going to have to get online quickly, and you can see T1 Lab coming up right now. Nope, it's just for more T1 builders. But as soon as that APHIS is complete, I would actually be getting the T2 Lab out with Jags, because you do have that construction vehicle now, so that you have a rapid response force with good amounts of damage. And let's have a look at what we have around the map. So we do have a decent force coming down from the top of the map, but the big forces are in the bottom of the map, attacking 2 separate kings, but in lanes next to each other, and there's minimal defenses here. If they do come through... Oh, actually, there's a decent amount here from Landraden. Those Tigers are going to do a lot, and the Twin Guards are going to clean up a lot of that spam. Doing pretty well getting all those units in at the same time, though. Alrighty, that is pushing through. The Tigers are not dying, but they are also taking a bit of time to get damage on. Those Salamanders are going to clean the rest of this up. Does look like the Kings have managed to survive the first push at 10 minutes, which is really good. They're going to get a nice bit of metal dono. Dominus trying to find a way in. Oh no, that was a... you know what? That's actually not so... It's not the end of the world. Did do a lot of damage to the Twin Guards, but there are still 3. They're going to get a good amount of fire off. The one in the middle will die very quickly, though. But the 2 on the outside will reap a toll. But there is not much in the way of defenses left for Potato, and Potato is being pushed on both sides, so... it does look like these units are getting in here. Question is, where do they go? And here we go. We do have the Jags coming from the middle of the map. Really good by Oratab to recognize this, and is going to help clean this one up. Very nicely done. Only a handful of metal lost here, metal production lost here, and defensive positions. It should be able to push this back to those ramps and rebuild from here, especially since it is APHIS going down for Potato. So Potato is about to have plenty of income soon. It does look like a Blitz run-by has managed to make it into I Kill You for Fun's base. Is headed towards the middle of the map. It is eating that fusion reactor, though. Really good positioning here. The comm cannot get the D-gun before these get... Oh, can it? It can! It can! Oh, 7%. 7%. Nicely saved. I Kill You for Fun. Really nicely done. Dominus's second comm going down. But...
This
is the thing. Yep, does have another one. But this is the thing. Player in the middle is not scaling right now. They're building units, and they're building reactive units, not units that build up the army. These Jaguars are necessary right now because they're cleaning everything up. But the Jaguars are dying, which means that the amount
that lane
of
that's been
force
isolated is now being assaulted by quite a bit of stuff. Only problem is it includes black shell shockers, which are probably doing as much damage to his own units.
And I do reckon that's going to be cleaned up quite nicely because there's plenty of defense back here. There's pit bulls, there's wardens, and there are dragons moors, so that attack is cleaned up nicely.
Potato. In the background of that eco corner, they're already building APHIS. So Morning Phoenix getting bigger.
So that's the amount of pressure happening in the bottom left hand side without an overcommitment to units, which is insane. Do have plenty of units trying to make their way in though to the base. Couple of skirmishing Legion units by the fringe managed to get taken out by the Twin Guard. Dominus about to lose his third comm. There we go, third comm taken out for Dominus. Dominus does love to be given comms. King's stable. I would actually call this somewhat stable.
Possibly even like
actually,
kind of like a victory to the Kings.
Not necessarily, because Oratab isn't. Oh, yeah, Oratab is actually scaling. He's got the APHIS building on the other side, so and more units coming down. So I do think that we're actually seeing.
Remember, T2,
I do actually think that we're stable.
T2 construction turrets are on for this one, I believe. Are they? No, they're not. They're correct.
Oh, okay. It's all over the place tonight. We've got Legion showing up. We've got T2 build turrets on Throne, but not on Raptor Crater. An interesting one.
I actually prefer the base unit for King of the Hill. I don't like change though. That's just my personality. I like to get good at something and not have to deal with the changes. That's why I struggle with Legion.
I do find a lot of the Legion units to be very fun, but they also have weapons that are very. They don't have spill. They don't over damage. They deal exactly the right amount of damage. Oh dear, Goblins starting to make their way into the LLT side, defended by Potato. Potato is going for. It has been investing into the economy more so than defending his own lane, just allowing Oratab to take that one over. Does need to reclaim it because the amount of metal that's here that the peasants are just able to reclaim and get back, it's certainly funding more and more of this attack. If you can push them back to the ramp and then hold them there, then that 12,000 metal is yours.
One of the biggest
actually doing one of
the is, even though he's building eco, he's got no conversion, so bringing in extra 2,500 energy than he is converting right now, and that means that building any more APHIS is essentially pointless.
You know those 3 comms that Dominus lost?
Yes.
They're coming back!
That's going to be nasty.
And we've also got the Medusas coming in. These have very, very large range, so the reliance right now on these LLTs and on these bulls is going to be a big problem. Because those Medusas are going to start getting damage in over time, and that really long range means they can stay back relatively safely.
If you are rezzing a commander like this, make sure nothing's near it just as it gets past that 100%. You don't want to die to one shot. I've seen too many times myself.
There we go. Good response out of Oratab, getting all those bulls in before the Medusas could build up in mass, but it wasn't enough to push the snipers back. This is where spam starts to be really needed. Psycho Pew Pew walking straight through Land Raiden's base with a comm, just trying to get damage done as much as possible, has found one of the construction turret banks, trying to get that one done, does get that one out of the way, gonna affect the amount of production available by Land Raiden. This bottom left-hand side is really taking a lot of the heat.
Huge D-guns, takes out all but 3, and keeps the comm at almost full health.
More bulls are coming, so... And here's the second wave of Medusas, this time controlled by Jalio. Medusas and snipers with comm in front and the T1 units now having built up. There needs to be more of a response to this bottom left-hand side, because the damage is now going to start coming on in a big way, and that's why we're seeing some of these starlights to try and get the damage on. But you're going to have to manually control those so the hits aren't going into the spam. Dominus's comm taken out just there, taking most of the snipers with it. That's actually a big win for the Kings right now. But On the other side of the map, we do have Ice Cube, who's managed to break through their lane, lightly defended and Razorbacks up, and there's ticks around the Razorbacks, which should keep them somewhat safe
Don't
from
walk your commanders
comms.
away from T3. Walk them towards T3.
Correct. You want to be taking it out and doing the damage where you can, but this is a potential to spill out because there's not a lot here to respond to this. And if that can free up the top half of the map, then as long as the bottom half holds, then they can sweep around and do a lot of the damage. But they're not holding so well. We do have units inside attacking those APHIS. Those APHIS cannot be allowed to fall. Need to get more and more units down there. We do have Oratab trying to get that T3 lab down, but it's only running off of 4 APHIS now at the 18-minute mark. This is what I was talking about when I said before the game, keeping the aggression on. It means the player in the middle of the map has not been able to really spend much time doing middle of the map things. So this is going to be it is super important that Ice Cube's aggression does not stop. It's really important for GG to be doing what it's doing right now, which is sending units down to the bottom of the map. And it would be really nice if Nivla managed to assist that push up in the top of the map. But unfortunately, just does not have the economy to really do it. Nivla currently only at plus
so
80
close
metal.
to that APHIS. They actually see it? Yeah, they do see it. They got so close. And they're going to get cleaned up here, I reckon. Pushed all the way back to the ramps.
And that is a lucky thing for the Kings because well, they really need to not die to this corner. However, the bottom left-hand side is scaling as well, so the damage is going to keep coming on and on and on. So
what's not good for the peasants is the Kings are actually pretty neck and neck with metal per second. Just 500 difference.
And we like to see the peasants pulling ahead at this stage of the map if no corner has fallen. Peasants doing a decent job of rallying the defenses in this top side. They've lost this small section of players, but it hasn't converted into a large, overwhelming push. We also have Nivla sending his units up against the gauntlet of defenses. You don't have to. You could go up the ramp that's already been, assaulted. You could help there. It's a thing. And just it just unfortunately just doesn't have the economy. 60 to 80 metal versus the 200 plus of almost everybody else. Kings somewhat stabilized, which is really good.
Yeah, they're doing better than I thought. I really thought, I mean, that was intense pressure that was put onto the bottom left, but the fact was that ORAP only had to look at the bottom left. Nowhere else got really pushed by the peasants.
And that's the thing. It allowed for GG to send units down there as well. GG is now having to defend their own ramp, but had they been pressured this whole time, the units which came down, which I actually reckon were pretty critical, would not have been there.
Alright, I think this bottom left is holding now that we've got 8 Razorbacks down there. You're not pushing through that. Peasants down there. Probably time to scale in a big way. You want to get APHIS stacks going now. We're thinking vanguards. Problem is, this is the main eco is a Legion. What is the long range? I suppose Daedalus is the longest range you've got because we've got air turned off.
Really good defense on this top right-hand side by Thule. These snipers have managed to pick off just about all the vanguards. They've traded very efficiently. Not such a good play out of Ice Cube. Ice Cube has just been pulling back when fighting the snipers, and only now that he's lost all the T3 units is he sending his hounds in. The hounds are actually going to clean up all these snipers, but it would have been even better if he'd done it while the spam was still there, because the spam actually reached the snipers. So just a bit of a miss micro there, but is up there, is up the top, is doing damage, and on the left hand side, GG managing to destroy the pawn push that came down, is now up in there, is now up in the King's bases dealing damage. Just a few T1 units doing damage at the start, but they're getting it done. They are definitely getting it done. A lot of buildings that have been, a lot of wind that was built together certainly leads to some cascading explosions. So we do have Kings pushing out now in a pretty decent way. Question is, oh wow, look at all the units coming in at the bottom left hand side. They are just not stopping with the spam. The goblins are the unit of choice here.
While there's no push out, I'd actually turn off almost all of those labs and just have it so that they're occupying the shots. Because it's just spending metal instead of scaling right now.
I don't love this out of Potato. You don't need to send those brutes in right now, and they're not going to. Oh, actually, if they kill the com, actually, it was an expensive com kill, but comms are a big risk.
It's not going to happen now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit. Comms are a big risk. Push coming in towards the king on the top left-hand side. We do have Thanatos and we do have Arbicus headed straight for GG's base. GG's units currently out and about on the map. Plenty of damage, plenty of defense though here. These pulsars managing to clean it up before anything critical was taken out. Just some T1 labs. It does look like the attack has petered out on this top-hand side, just a little bit.
Out of the top left player, you can just see here going into an APHIS. This is what we typically see from presence. No map awareness, or even just thinking, not my problem. It is going to be your problem pretty soon, son.
It definitely will be. Push coming in towards towards Chiplin at the moment. Interestingly enough, turtles. Usually you wouldn't see turtles in a game where the amphibious part isn't active. Because one of the things to bear in mind, when you buy a unit, you're paying for every aspect of the unit. Spiders, you're paying for their ability to walk up walls, which means that they're lower damage, they're slower, they're whatever it happens to be. The turtles, less damage, a decent defense, but you're paying for that amphibious aspect. Looking, what do you reckon, Twig? How are we going? I'm seeing a lot of waste out of the kings and out of the peasants at the moment.
I think the win condition is the bottom left for the peasants, but they need to scale a bit more efficiently. Like I said, whilst Potato and Aura aren't pushing out, you use that time to get big, like scale with APHIS level eco rather than fusions, and you're on the clock. Because I just think the way the peasants are playing on the top left, that even though they're quite a big eco up there, both corner peasants have.
They're now isolated.
They're just going to. Just feel like they're not going to build units until they're at like they're probably both going Sol Invictus. No, they're Cortex. They're probably both going jug stage of the game without realizing that you're not going to get there if you don't start building some smaller, cheaper units first and hold your ground. Top right's going to go fine. In fact, they are pushing in right now. Let's look at those Shivas getting in. They are.
Oh yeah,
close.
Missed that entirely. And this is the problem. Niveler, we're now 25 minutes in, and Niveler's economy never progressed to a single fusion or APHIS.
Oh,
You just.
He's going to get the com. Com's not going invisible.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
I mean, even if he turned invisible, he barely has the economy to deal with it.
Needs to run right here, right now.
This might actually be one of the things which prevents the kings from winning this game. Having a single king that effectively wasn't there means that there's an entire extra lane to defend. There's so many problems. And those Shivas are walking towards the middle of the map, and Oratab hasn't seen it yet. Hasn't reacted to it. Only now, now the vanguards aren't moving across. All it's going to take is one good shot to cut his economy down to almost nothing. There we go. Reaction is happening, but
there we go. There you go. Big bang. First big bang. Are they going to see an APHIS?
Big bang. That's
He sees the APHIS now. Conversion first. I mean, build power first. That's great. He gets close. Not close enough. If only all the spam went in there with it. Like, why?
But that's just crippled the Kings. That's knocked almost 1,500 metal off of the board, and it's stopped the attack on the left-hand side as an overreaction of units were pulled through. It means the units are going to stop coming through to defend the bottom of the map. That's devastating. That is a properly devastating blow for the Kings, and
It could have been game ending though if more than one.
it could
player
have been
did it.
game ending, yeah. But it's very rough. It's hard to see. And then on the this one's an interesting one because you've had phenomenal play out of Oratab in the middle, really well done out of Potato, Land Raiden, IQU for fun, Daoshi Bag, they're all doing quite well. Ice Cube's been the standout for offense at the moment.
I think it's safe to say that we don't know who's going to win this, and we are almost 30 minutes in.
Yeah, but unfortunately for the Kings, Chipperin and Nivla, those lanes have been struggling this entire time, and they haven't had a lot to struggle against. And it means that the players that needed to be getting out doing damage haven't been getting out and doing the damage. One of the other things I'll also say, Ice Cube has been on the offensive for a very long time, but they haven't managed to build up many forces. And it's because they've been swinging between attacking right and attacking left. They'll destroy the defenses on the left, losing units. Then they'll fight right, destroying stuff over there, losing units. And they'll fight left, losing units. One of the things that is really important is, as a king, is army retention. You need to keep units alive, and the number of vanguards and razorbacks that have died in this top half of the map, if even 20% of them have lived, this army would be 4 or 5 times its size.
I'd love to
It does
see
look
the
like the
bottom
Kings
left
have
get a
stabilized
bit more
somewhat again.
T3. If these Vanguard Razorbacks pushed out, I don't think that Dominus's corner is going to stop that. Just a few safety units, even sharpshooters in big numbers probably go quite well.
Does look like we have a push coming from Land Raiden right here, and there is not much to stop it. Comms out of position, and we're fighting against a couple of Sheldons and a couple of T1 defenses. This is going to push right in. The Arbicus are coming to try and deal with this. They'll get a kill per shot, but if they keep walking forward, they're going to be in a bad position. We do have a defensive bastion going down. Unfortunately, it's just not in the best position right now, and it will only defend one area. All you have to do is avoid that one, and it does look like they are in and doing the damage. Can they get up the hill, though? I think there's too many Arbicus to get up the hill, but still, each player going down is a player going down. A little bit less that you have to worry about, and it is going to isolate players like Multivitamin, who's taking a lot of chip damage from those Quakers just shelling down onto shields. Does look like finally Ice Cube and GG working together to try and push up into this right-hand side. I really like that. You do want to try and coordinate between Kings. We've got the Blitzers in the front providing a massive screen, and hopefully those Vanguards will be able to push forward. It's all well and good to have these Shivas targeted, but if these Vanguards aren't moving forward right now, they're not doing their job, because you want to be hitting that T3 lab. You want to be hitting those advanced, particularly the advanced converters. You want to be getting the shots onto the high ground, even if you're blind firing. It's actually surprisingly small eco up there. Usually you'd see way more. Hopefully, though, this will be the push that deals with this right hand side, or at least cripples it enough that the right hand side can be dealt with.
Those Vanguards will just walk up over that hill with their game, and they'll find eco pretty quickly. This is in conversion.
There we go. That is another player taken out. That's going to give a lot of opportunity. The vanguards are actually targeted to walk up that cliff, which is fantastic. They're going to instantly see the wind and grab that, and there's only the one shield, so they'll shoot through that very, very quickly. And there's plenty of units in the front which have managed to clear through a lot of the chaff, a lot of the spam, which frees up yet another lane as an attack vector. They're holding out nicely on the left-hand side as well. Bottom of the map, we are seeing some Daedalus trying to get in, but unfortunately they've been jumped on by the Razorbacks, so those are going to be picked up nice and quickly. The spam is good, but the spam is not so great against the Razorbacks, because the Razorbacks are quite good at cleaning up the spam.
I reckon the top right might fall.
Jumping back up to the top right, the Vanguards have stopped moving, but the Welders are getting into the bubble. Are going to get into the bubble in a moment anyway. Why are the Vanguards pulling back?
Oh no, is that a misclick? They were in.
Why are the Vanguards pulling back? It's just one Praetorian. And this has literally been the entire game for Ice Cube. Gets into a position to destroy a base, then pulls his units back to deal with something that you just shouldn't deal with.
Finally turning around again. Welders have found all the build power conversion.
Offensive catalysts, bottom right. Where
I'll
are
just
those?
removed a couple of them.
Yep.
As long as you're removing them and not wrecking them.
Yeah.
Sorry, we did not see that one. Been very caught up with what's going on. It does look like this right-hand corner is going to fall, and this is happening right as Daoshi's coming online with Juggernauts, which is going to be a nasty, nasty thing. What do you reckon, Twig? With this top right falling, do you swing down or do you swing left? I have a feeling that Ice Cube is going to swing left, but I actually reckon the correct answer is swinging down to unlock Daoshi
Just
bag.
because Daoshi's looking powerful, yes, you're right there.
Yeah.
Naturally, like without having the vision, I would have gone left because that had already been damaged and already a number of peasants had been taken out, whereas on the right, none have. But typically this right-hand side or the left-hand side, they're the easiest lanes to break out. Daoshi bag's been scaling a bit more rather than pushing out, and yeah, like you said, unlocking him is going to be a big game changer for the Kings, and it's going to put that pressure on the bottom left to win this game soon.
So I just want to talk a little bit about what's going on the top right, even though that's somewhat mostly over. Because Ice Cube pulled so much of his stuff back to defend against what is essentially a tick line, he's going to lose all these Vanguards. That's so much money that didn't need to be lost because of an overreaction to basically nothing. And it's leaving, and the APHIS are being left intact as well. I was talking about a swing, but and I get GG pulling back because GG did need to pull back for defense, but when did the player rebuild them, Tom?
I found some extras and removed them.
Okay.
Unless there's something else that I've missed.
No, all good, all good. If they go back to building them, then anyway.
You know what to do.
Army retention. I talked about it before. That Vanguard push was essentially a rolling ball of can win the game. But it got eliminated by being isolated inside of a corner with the support pulled away for what amounted to very, very little gain. Oh. Why do I have a million rule violations?
It's the new thing. So the way that the new moderator tools work is
I didn't do anything though.
Let me finish. The way the game works is you cannot ping in-game to someone if you're spectating. The way the game works is you take over somebody's own chat and then send the rule violation. So everyone would have received that message. Yes.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I was just like, what just happened?
I'd removed the T2 constructor they were using to make stuff already.
Yep. So it does look like this right-hand side is falling, but it's taking way more resources than it should have to achieve it, which is costing the Kings time, and that time is allowing for the Vanguard ball in the Jalio's Vanguard ball in the bottom left to build up, and it just means that Potato is constantly under threat, and it means that we're giving time to the top left to come online, which they are with going into the Juggernauts coming from the top left. That's going to be hard for GG to deal with. It's going to pull resources from Ice Cube, which is going to leave Daoshi Bag as the only player assaulting this top right-hand side rather than a combined force. Daoshi Bag splitting his forces, making his way down. I don't mind this as much because it is a collapse happening in the top right-hand side, so I have a feeling that will work out. But it certainly has been costly, a lot more costly taking that top right-hand corner than I would have expected. Tank Tom, if they're rebuilding them, they might just need to be kick banned.
I haven't seen them go down again.
Okay. Never mind. I'm just reading the chat, so not paying a lot of attention to that part. And there we go. Top right hand side down to its last fight. Couple of catapults, couple of Karganeths, mostly being picked off by the Titans and Razorbacks.
Yes, and you're right, chronographer in chat. Even though that player was using the catalyst, they weren't doing any damage to the units. I mean, 1 HP per shot.
So it's only annoying against units and stuff, which is that is one of the things that is fantastic about that change. It means that it is 100% less devastating than it was before. Final bit of eco going down, probably to... Nope. It is going to be a Razorback that gets there. Right-hand corner eliminated. And that frees up a lot of pushing power for the Kings to come out. It also looks like we're getting an offensive out of Chipperin right now, sending T1 units with Resed Daedalus to go up his ramp. I do like that. That is reversing the flow of the direction of this bottom left-hand side. Bottom left-hand side's ego is pretty massive, but they are struggling now that the force of the Kings is coming online.
And like I said, building Legion, you're limited to... You can't build the Myrmidon, and you can't build the Astrax. So,
now,
hey Sivan, thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Oh, 66 people, Sivan. Thank you for the raid. Top left-hand side right here. This is a danger point for the Kings right now. We do have a Juggernaut coming in, and we know from past games that if that Juggernaut just walks in and control Ds at the right time, then it will be in a great position. Unfortunately, it is stopping to try and take out these Pulsars. I don't actually have too much of an issue with it doing it for these first two, just because it's doing it from outside of the range of the other ones. But as soon as it's in range of those other ones, you really do need to just walk it in. It is a mobile nuke more than it is something that deals damage. It is also something for them to concentrate on while catapults come in behind and deal damage. But it is going to be taking a lot of damage walking in if it tries to walk in slowly.
Walking with the Shivas as well as the grunts, if any of these pulsar shots are wasted, it's going to get there and at least take out the build power that's on the front line building these. You know what?
Thankfully, though, it looks like all the pulsars are firing on it, and there are just too many combined with the Vanguard, so it's not going to break its way in. And that gives us a really good opportunity to have a look at this top, just above that, where the combined forces of GG and Ice Cube are massing to try and deal with this, this Bastion. However, this Bastion is quite literally 4 defensive Bastions with Chimeras in front. Nothing is going to punch through this. And I'm serious about that. You can throw as much T1 and T2 at this as you want. Chimeras are insane, Bastions are insane, and there's a Sol Invictus there as well. Just skip him. He's got 1 Aphis. Just don't fight him. Just leave him there. And just let Vanguard slowly clean him up. the amount of money that is being thrown at this problem.
The com might take out some. Oh, that was so close. Com down to 25%. If that com goes, that would take out the chimeras.
I mean, the com's going to go because it's walking into other things. But what I'm getting at is the amount of money that is being spent to essentially kill some defensive units that are only falling because of a mistake, of a compositioning mistake. This bastion would have held for quite a while because of how, and it's spent. It's spent the entire army that was up here.
I'd love to see the damage dealt by this player. Just remember that units.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we look at the statistics, that's going to be quite a big spike in their damage.
It's going to be hefty indeed.
Now on the right hand side, Daoshibag is pushing down with those.
Oh yeah, he's just been. Also, I totally called it, by the way, swinging left instead of down. But yes, Daoshi is just doing the mass T3 Shiva strategy with sumos to deal with spam, with grunts to get in the way of things, and has just been absolutely punching down. Juggernaut behind to clean anything up if needed. Some Titans in the mix as well. Just
I think bottom left has to go into that. Someone needs to give Cortex commanders out, and they have to go into the
behemoths.
No, I just think they're walking nukes.
I think there's. Oh, actually, looking at what's defending, I actually agree. Walking nukes is a good idea because right now the thing which is defending is vanguards and spam. Yeah. There aren't as many pulsars. If you could get even close, and the APHIS are actually surprisingly close to the edge as well, definitely could work out there.
And they've got vision of that as well. Right now, those Titans are now in vision of all the javelins, and the javelins going almost to one shot of that big laser on the back of the Titan there.
Real quick, on this right-hand side, there is so much build power. It has just been eating these Shivas. Thankfully, though, for the Shivas, they've managed to get a missile up onto the high ground to take out a bunch of it. But man, those T2 build turrets can eat Shivas.
That is the biggest eco of the peasants. I just realised Smitch got big. But
unfortunately, getting big isn't enough because you need to convert big into damage to the kings, because the kings will always be bigger than you if you don't. And if you're isolated in a corner, even if the overall income multiplier is higher for the peasants than it is for the kings, or sorry, the total income is higher for the peasants than the kings, it's spread all around the map, whereas individually each king can bring tons of force to bear.
I reckon the answer down this bottom right would be going into T2 rather than T3. Just getting out those units that will... What's the sharpshooter equivalent?
We don't have the extra unit pack on, so they can't have those triple shot lasers.
Yeah.
I do quite like that.
This many Titans on the left-hand side now. What do we got? 8. 8's going to be a good amount. And as much as Dominus and Zerom micro these catapults, they're just not going to get the value. They're not going to take them out faster than they're getting built.
Yep. Yeah, the game has scaled to the point where the king's economy is absolutely insane. Peasants is still pretty high as well, but some of the kings are producing ludicrous amounts of economy. So Oratab at the moment, who's focusing on this bottom left-hand side, is currently producing 2,000 metal. Potato currently producing 600. Landraiden producing about 500. And then you've got Daoshi on the right-hand side producing 1,000. Individually, these guys are just monsters putting stuff forward.
I reckon there's one spot that the peasants can still win, and that is the left-hand side Chiprin's base.
Yep.
Even though it looks dangerous, it's outranged by
It's
so
dangerous
much.
to T1.
Yeah, if units are getting microed, even if you just had Shivas would walk through this quite
Snipers, Shivas, even Sheldons would actually do half decent here.
The one defensive factor that this base has is the closest to APHIS is all the way in the middle of the map, so
yeah,
you're going to get quite a far away, and it's just one APHIS.
Yeah, you're going to be pushing for a while, but Hey, that Sol Invictus could actually do a decent amount of damage here because it does have long range out of its lasers. Problem is, it's just fighting. It's just fighting T1 and T2 units. It's not actually pushing in. But yeah, it's one of those. Ooh, Land Raiden managing to snipe. I believe that would have been a Juggernaut walking into the middle of the map. 2 Juggernauts walking into the middle of the map. That could have been a problem, but the comm has managed to solve it for the Kings, and soon, hopefully, Yaoshi's forces will meet back up with that entrance and close it off. But these Sol Invictus have been reaping, just absolutely reaping a toll here. There's been a continuous stream of them coming in, and it's just eliminated so many of the Shivas. It's eliminated so much of the T1. Sol Invictus, a very efficient unit, particularly in mass. The Juggernaut's doing their best to take it out, but it's completely stopped the Shiva push, which means the Shiva's now coming in one at a time, so they're dying super hard to these carries, the Sol Invictus, the high ground bastions. The time of the Shiva is over. I have to say, the time of the Shiva is over. If those were catapults instead, or something along those lines, it would be absolutely massive.
With the eco that Mitch has as well, and the build power down there, he's just going to keep adding to that force. And if you keep sending Shivas, you're just going to be donating metal.
Yep. Yeah, the Shivas barely tickle T3 units.
Here we go.
Does look like some progress is being made at the top of the map. Very expensive progress, but progress is being made. There's about to be a Juggernaut down. Going to do a good amount of damage to the demons that are holding the T1 off. We have plenty of Titans pushing through with the Vanguards behind, getting that bit of getting those bits and pieces of damage done. This corner, though, really struggling now to hold back the tide. We also have mass res coming through potentially. Oh no, it's eating all the metal out of Ice Cube for that extra production value. Does look like the Sol Invictus line on the bottom right hand side has been pushed back, and it's about to be potentially divided right now, because we do have all of those tremors just firing into the high ground. If they moved forward and could put that damage just a little bit deeper, it would really shut down the production of the Juggernauts, of the Sol Invictus, and would really help with Yaoshi Bag's push. Bottom left-hand side, we're starting to see cracks forming, both for the peasants and actually for the Kings. Units starting to build up on that left-hand side. Jalio's Vanguards have moved away from trying to siege down Potato, and now they're coming up towards the more weakly defended lane. Unfortunately, they're very grouped up, and there isn't, because the pressure's been taken away from the front, it means Orotab's Vanguards will be able to duel with them. We'll see how that one goes, but the peasants are really holding. They're really holding hard here, and a lot of it is the inefficiency of trade coming out of the Kings right now.
I think the tipping point is going to be this top left. If this top left falls for the peasants, that's the Kings. Got this in the bag, and you can see right now all the Titans pushing up. The Vanguards
have finally got in range of the high ground too, and that's going to eliminate the Juggernaut production, and the Juggernaut production has been basically the only thing that has been keeping them in the match.
I think the Juggernaut's still coming out of Howe in the background. They're getting turned around in 30 seconds of pop, roughly. He needs to stop putting APHIS, though. Everything onto those Jugs.
Yep, everything onto those Juggernauts. But even with the Juggernauts coming out, the time to kill on Titans from a Juggernaut is not particularly high, which means the Titans can just keep walking in and destroying things. If this APHIS stack pops, the one out of Casaria, I do believe that it's just close enough that it's going to kill those advanced energy converters.
And press Space X. It's not even close. It completely overlaps.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. 100% going to absolutely wipe it out. If it was just one APHIS, I might say it's possible that it would survive, but with both of them, it's not a chance. So all of that work to get that economy, and it is going to It is going to be popped by the APHIS in front. And this Vanguard shot is going to do it. There we go. That's the conversion down. And now the APHIS mean little to nothing, because that medal has dropped to plus 23.
Wow, the change on the top
Yikes.
right of the map just completely went from 40% in favour to 60%
Yep.
the other way.
It was a huge economy. It was 2 sets of economy.
All the metal gone. And that's top left as good as dead.
Yep.
Good luck.
And that's going to
defending
put
that now.
pressure on this middle section, which is going to free up, Chiprin.
I just don't feel the Vanguards are the right answer to this game. The peasants need.
They are
something a bit
only the
more
right answer if you can have so unbelievably many of them.
Yeah, that you're taking out Titans walking at you.
Yep. If you can if you have enough to 2-volley Titans, then Vanguards are the right choice.
It is looking
Top left economy is about to go down to the handful of units being left behind, and a couple of ticks going in there just to ensure it as well, even if the Vanguards do leave. One Titan has decided to be a sacrificial Titan. He's getting right up close to those APHIS. And there we go. Top left has been cleared, and now the units are coming in, and there is nothing to stop these units.
Yeah, these economies on the left-hand side didn't get to scale like the corners did, so the next 3 peasants down this line are as good as dead, because they are not going to put up the fight that the corners do.
So have we taken the area?
There's no static defenses that shoot past the cliffs on this one, correct? There's no like take and hold.
No.
I don't even know what our decision was on that one.
I've just been running with nothing that shoots past the cliffs.
That's been my assumption on that one, because we talked about take and hold rules one week and then decided it was too difficult to enforce.
Yeah, because we don't see it happening in quite a few instances. If you want to go build LLTs, I'm not going to really
LLTs, I'm not going to delete.
Yeah.
The D2 stuff is too much.
These blitzers firing into the shields in enough volume that the shields are actually going down.
A good night to be
dear.
a king. I think we're about to see 3 wins out of kings tonight.
I do believe that the Kings have done very, very well this game. Definitely, look, we've been critical about some of the things, but it's because I've been critical about some of the things. It's one thing to bear in mind is that I do have a bird's eye view, and it's something which the players don't necessarily have, and I'm sure that I make some of the exact same mistakes as well. But the rolling down the map now coming from the top side is going to absolutely crush through here. Not to mention we also have such a build-up of catapults and vanguards on the front line here out of Oratab and out of Potato that they're actually going to whittle down a behemoth quicker than you would expect from those units.
The behemoth probably would
Not
be
to mention
to target the juggernaut and just to go for the explosion to kill everything around it.
Yeah,
you can see the
that too.
coming up.
Something I will say, this top right, the bottom right-hand side, has managed to completely shut down Daoshi Bag's attack, is getting Soul Invictus, has been just pumping Soul Invictuses, and now we have a 19 Soul Invictus push, going for different ramps, or Daoshi grabbing at least one of those, but this is enough Soul Invictus that it could actually push into the King's base, because these units are tanky, they have great damage, and in front of them is only bulwarks and vanguards, which means taking them out is going to be trouble. There is a comm coming down to deal with it, but the comm has to choose Juggernauts or Soul Invictus. And to be honest, you kind of have to choose the Juggernauts, because the Juggernauts are more of a walking nuke than the Soul Invictus, but there's so much Soul Invictus here.
The Soul Invictus have to spread out. I reckon this commander's going to take out at least 3.
It's definitely going to get 3. I reckon it could get 4. But even then... 1, 2, Oh no, only 2, and now there is only the only thing between the Sol Invictus and these Juggernauts and the base in the middle of the map is Vanguards.
Oh, do we
And I don't
see-
like those odds.
This is the power of building those big units. So much focus
Yep.
has been on that bottom left that this has been somewhat ignored. If these
And this
keep
is
walking on the
they are.
door stop.
I don't know how the Kings stop this.
Jug's
I
gonna
don't think the
make it
Kings
in.
do stop this.
Sol and Victus are gonna keep walking. There's not enough
Oh my
paths
God.
to get things in front of them.
Holy crap.
It's happening. Big units coming out of one of the King's corners. The Kings are
He just
dominant
needs
on
to see. He needs to see
basically
the APHIS.
everything.
There you go. He's
but
seen the
the-
APHIS. It's dead.
That's it. That's it. That's it. The Kings have just lost almost their entire economy. And those Sol Invictus are just going to keep rolling.
Holy! This is the closest.
The Sol Invictus are just going to keep rolling too.
It's not over though.
There's
Look
still-
at the bottom left. There's so much T3 coming down this bottom left.
Yep.
Every commander, if you're a peasant, every commander has to go to stop these titans.
Yep.
Eco's even.
This is insane. It's going to come
Oh,
down
no,
to
you
decision
know-
making.
And here's a bad decision. Smitch just went
That's
back
a bad
into Eco.
decision.
Smitch went back into Eco.
Oh my god, could you imagine if this was being supported by T1 or something? The Sol Invictus have spread out and they're going to be cleaned up. I reckon that the
no.
Kings have still got this.
I think so too. If Smitch kept building those Sol Invictuses at the rate he was building them, that would have been game.
Because the
this
bottom
jug-
left is
this-
taking
this
an absolute
juggernaut,
beating
If
now.
it can get potatoes at APHIS, we're relying on 2 Kings Eco.
Oh, actually,
Behemoths.
I didn't even see this. The Behemoth is making its way into the base on the bottom left-hand side.
There's a
More
second one.
Juggernauts coming in, more comms coming in.
Oh no. Zhao Yang's.
Zhao Yang's about to get a fantastic
He's-
D-gun on 2 Juggernauts.
He's not moving his Juggernaut though. There we go. Moving again.
Bottom
Bottom
left
left
economy
corner.
has been gutted.
It is.
Zarom's coming in to try and clean up as much of this as possible. Oh man, this
so
is...
close to getting potatoes APHIS.
And the thing is, though, now
Almost to go
all of the
forward.
forces from the Kings have stopped trying to go around the map, and they're just pushing down towards the bottom of the map. And there is a lot. There is a lot of Kings forces here. Army value is 50% in favor of the Kings. The
You are-
peasants pushed back so hard.
If you are a peasant, you should be yelling at Smitch right now. He is the win condition for the peasants.
How could you be building economy right now?
And he's not
Because
even
this
converting it.
economy,
Like, the
getting
APHIS are
another
doing
10
nothing.
APHIS
APHIS are
isn't
doing
going to help
nothing.
you.
He's 20,000 energy ahead on yeah, he's not converting. 30,000 energy at the moment.
I mean, the whole peasant team is full on energy. Oh my god, Daoshi is losing his base as well. Daoshi, who was in such a dominant position, is losing his APHIS stack.
It's only a few Sol Invictus that are putting in a whole lot of work over on that right hand side.
Imagine if Mitch didn't stop his
Had
solid
units.
All you have to do is pick the gaps. Find a space.
Potatoes
between the
one shot away
defenses.
from losing his APHIS stack as well.
And this is where
God
T1
damn.
becomes really valuable. Something big punches a hole in the defenses, flood through, find the explosive bit.
I still don't know.
The
how they're gonna win.
The kings are down to 4,000 metal income versus the 6,000 of the peasants.
But
I actually
half of
reckon the
that-
peasants.
Half of that's not being turned into
Yeah, but
units.
the army
army
value
value
is
is
now the
kings.
army value is now only 30% in favor of the kings, and it's out of position. I actually reckon. I reckon because of the survival of this very bottom left corner, because of the hugely inefficient trades trying to fight this top right hand corner, I actually reckon that the kings have done themselves in, and the peasants have pulled off a spectacular move.
Alright, I'm on silent mode, guys. Got that message.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. The peasants are down to just 1/3 of the map, and they are pressing the kings.
Oh, you
Now,
know
bear
what?
in mind,
Best decision on the bottom left. Res bots are resing all the T3.
everything. Now, bear in mind, we do have a large economy up this top right hand side from GG building in what is probably the safest position right now. But
No.
if the
Snickers
kings
is about
lose
to
the
die.
hill, it doesn't matter.
What is Smitch doing? Build units. Alright, I'm actually on silent mode, guys.
Yeah. One of the things that I definitely want to say, continuing to try and push this right-hand corner is a bad move. You're not going to punch through efficiently with all of the T3 that's being produced. You have to push this middle section and then pressure from all sides with long range. You can't keep throwing units away. The kings do not have the forces right now to have a massive offensive. They need, even with economies now essentially stabilized, the kings really need to use the fact that enemy units are trickling in, build up those forces again, get into a position to win, and then start pushing back out again.
The peasants are doing a reasonable job of pulling the kings one side to the other.
Yep.
They'll send a force of units, take out some build power, send them the other way, take out some conversion, swing back again. Maybe they'll take out the next line of defense so you can get that bit deeper on the next push. But they are getting in and dealing damage. And once the king's base goes pop, it's rather difficult to get it back up again, because those front lines are just advancing forward every time, and then we're getting to the point where the T1 is getting in and starting to do some stuff as well. And because they're bringing the units one side to the other, the kings have to respond and drag their armies across. And if they drag them to the left, it means that the right opens up. And if they drag them to the right, it means the left opens up.
Right now we have the next Sol Invictus wave pushing in on the right-hand side. It is headed straight up towards... Somehow it knows that there's a massive economy in the top right-hand side. Let's see if they've seen that.
I mean, at this point, the economy is going to be where you haven't been yet. So
but they've that one feels a bit sus to me. They're targeting an area of the economy that has not been scouted. I would understand if they were moving towards it, like to the middle of the map, but that definitely feels a bit sus.
Yeah, if it had just been like going up and around, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that makes. Thankfully, there's a comm for some D-guns in the way.
Dashi managing to clean up one of those Sol Invictus, two of those Sol Invictus, but it doesn't look like 3 from that comm is going to be possible. But there's enough defenses here now to kill that last one.
Down anyway.
Army value still in favor of the peasants right now, but oh man, these units are pushing so deep. They've found the fusions and more conversion. The middle of the map is just a mess right now for the kings. They just cannot kill these Sol Invictuses fast enough. They need to be putting essentially a pulsar wall down to deal with these big units. Thankfully, that's the last of the ones in the... Well, not quite. There's one more in the middle, but there's plenty of stuff to shoot that one down. This is going to now give them at least no more breathing room. Juggernaut walking in on the left-hand side about to detonate isn't going to get the Control D detonation off, thank goodness. Man, this has just turned into one side versus the other right now. Economies approximately even, army value within 10% of one another. This is just an absolute slogging match.
Mm-hmm. Very even on metal per second.
Yep.
Where are we at? Army values are within 10%. This is basically going to come down to efficiency and who can get the better trades at this point.
And right now, the peasants have the advantage in that they only really have to... The kings have a lot of space to clear. The peasants do not.
Hmm.
The peasants also control a lot of the reclaim field, and they are resurrecting it. So a lot of these big units are coming back onto the field. You can actually see the Titans are building up, the Juggernauts are building up, the Sol Invictuses are building up for the peasants. That reclaim has caused them to jump almost 10% in army value over the kings.
And when you're the one aggressing, you can concentrate your units and punch through the line rather than having to have stuff everywhere to hold off whatever happens to be arriving.
Not to mention, because it's the entire bottom half of the map, all of the peasant units are hitting at about the same time, whereas the kings are so spread out that it's taking a long time for things to walk to the front of the map. Just an example, on this right-hand side, we've got this pack of 4 Sol Invictuses out of the kings, out of the peasants. They are up to those Sol Invictuses. They've got 62 kills. Of those kills, I reckon maybe 10 of them are Titans and Vanguards. They are just able to do those trades because the Titans are walking up there one at a time.
When you can 4v1, you can 4v1 a lot of times.
A lot of times.
Units.
Yep. So, army value now 21% in favor of the kings. Economy now approximately 40. Sorry, in favor of the peasants. Economy about 20% in favor of the peasants as well. I reckon that this line is just going to keep advancing forward now that they've got that T3 mass back up again. I think we're going to see another big push right now. This bottom left-hand side, we're seeing 7 Juggernauts walking their way towards the center with Sol Invictus and Titan back up. There is a lot. That is a lot of HP to punch through. And is it too much HP to punch through? Especially since that's causing the go button to be pushed for the demons pushing in. It's causing the go button to be pushed for the Sol Invictuses on the right to be pushed in. So the kings really are going to struggle here because those Titans are falling fast. And they're too spread out to really concentrate damage on the Juggernauts. Juggernauts now going into self-D mode. The one at the front going to get the one at the front is probably going to get that explosion off. Maybe the pulsar's taken out ahead of time. Nope, just 3 seconds to go.
However, it still blows a fairly reasonable chunk from that defensive line.
Yep, another one going down, but there are still 3 more in that mix. Another one getting pretty close to going down, but the one of the front runners is still very high. The Titans just not able to... The Titans too spread out, so these are getting deeper and deeper. Thankfully, it's only going to punch really into some defenses and into some T1 production. So it's not the end of the world. It would be nice if those pulsars could stay up. That does lower the army value advantage of the kings. However, this right-hand side is what is terrifying right now. This right-hand side is... 22 Sol Invictuses and a Juggernaut Res Juggernaut coming in. Daoshi's comm outside of radar protection, taking some big damage as it walks in. Thankfully, it's outside of radar. Oh no, there we go. That's it going down. Which means that we have a massive force coming in, and it's all concentrated. and it's going up against a spread defensive line, and this is happening at the same time as an assault in the middle of the map that is using 12 Soul Invictuses to try and push in right where the Juggernauts just did their damage as well, right next to where the Juggernauts did their damage.
Meanwhile, there's flanking armies on the left-hand side as well.
Yep.
Basically going around that defensive line, picking things off where they can.
Kings are in trouble. Kings
Very
are in
much on the
big
back
trouble.
And some of these kings look like they can't spend their metal either.
They really do need to expand outside of the of that circle so that they can have units coming in to the circle.
The kings are on the back foot now because they need to have a defensive line that covers the entirety of the
entirety.
map. Whereas the peasants just need enough to occupy it, and then they can have their skirmishing forces concentrate to then punch holes.
I feel like on this right-hand side, if these Soul Invictuses just walk in, I think that that's going to be the final straw. They are taking their time to do it, though. We do have Agena, who's slowed down to wait for the rest, but now they're all together, they're all walking towards the middle of the map, and the Titan defense concentration is just not there the same way that it has been for the rest of the map. The Titans have been doing a great job of pushing things back, but right now this is a huge force, huge amount of damage, and the Titans will take forever to close this gap, and even if they do, they're going to be opening themselves to another attack, so I don't know what stops this big Soul Invictus push.
I don't know if there is, and there's nothing that the kings don't have the unit mass to be able to punch down through the middle. And with the edges of their line being kicked off, it's going to become rough. It looks like they've basically just made the call to charge down the middle to see if they can make it through the lines, because they can't necessarily continue to hold and live.
Maybe aggression will force units to pull back, but I don't think that's very likely, especially considering that this Soul Invictus attack is now into one of the starting zones of the Kings, and it is going to be, and the only real thing that's going to be defending against it is those defensive bulwarks and vanguards. Titans are coming up in drips and drabs to defend, but drips and drab Titans are not the defensive force, especially since
they are going to get taken out though. All of those Soul Invictus on the right have basically been killed at this point.
There's still 10 offensive Soul Invictus.
What am I looking at? Oh, yep, those ones.
Yeah, the first wave went down. The second wave is now here. The corpses, though, are making it a bit hard to push in.
However, they're starting to take out those defenses.
When they move up a little bit, just that little bit higher, they're suddenly getting mass targeted by pulsars. So the spreading out of the Soul Invictus has actually allowed for an absolute crazy amount of extra damage to be put onto them.
There is a lot of pulsars around the map now. Getting much further in, I feel like it's going to have to be done with artillery units.
Yep.
That have the range to shoot into those defenses and then start clipping the economy. The Soul Invictus don't have the range to be able to punch in past the defenses that are currently there.
I am genuinely surprised that that massive Soul Invictus push didn't get deeper than it did.
And those Titans made it a reasonable way down out of the middle.
But they're now fighting against a larger number of Soul Invictuses and Titans, so that's a huge army loss right there. Two Soul Invictuses that came on a different angle, managing to get right towards the center of the base. They're actually dealing enough damage. They've taken out a T2 lab. They are in the process of trying to take out some of the defenses, but they have not. One more still coming, and a large mass of T1 and Shivas. Taking a lot. They are taking a lot of damage, though, from the bulwarks and from the Titans coming in. I don't know if that's going to... I think that attack has effectively petered out. However, left-hand side, we're starting to get a build-up of units there as well out of the peasants, so should be a pretty rough fight. Income currently sitting at 44% in favor of the peasants. Holy. Just holy.
And this is the sort of thing where the kings will struggle to make up that difference at this point. Both sides have got heavily entrenched defensive lines.
Mm-hmm.
The army value is even to 10% in the favor of the peasants.
I know that this is something we talked about a while ago, and it's not in the official rules, but we did talk about the fact that if a game went to a certain length, it would be considered a tie. Do you considering we're at the 1 hour mark and
This is going to take a while to resolve itself.
I think that it might be worth, not necessarily for this game, but I think it might be worth putting that in the rules for the future, that there is a limited amount of time to win the game, otherwise it is a draw.
I would say that we put a, rather than letting them run quite that long, potentially cut it at, say, 45 minutes, or, you know, if it looks like there's not going to be a resolution, somewhere in the realm of half an hour. Like, if there's a side that's winning or losing, let them play it out. But if it's...
I mean, based on the fact that I do the editing for the recordings, a lot of games push to around 45-50 minutes, but very few push past... I don't think we've seen... I think we've seen maybe 1 or 2 that pushes past an hour. Hence why the hour mark is my choice. Because we don't want to stop people from playing the game. So I wouldn't even think about cutting it at half an hour, even if it is looking one-sided, because people do deserve to get to play with these big units. It's one of the game modes where something like this can happen. But it certainly is it's food for thought.
That explosion is getting reasonably close in there on that left-hand side, isn't it?
It is. The Kings have... I wouldn't say the Kings have run out of stuff. It's just not where it needs to be for defense.
That jug is getting rather deep over there.
Oh yeah, just seen that one. I would have put the Control D on that already. If that manages to get the Control D, I'd be surprised. It has found the it did find the APHIS, but not quite enough damage to get on shot. Now, just an intro, so I just want to jump over on the right hand side. We have Daoshi Bag's Titans, right? This is not where you want those Titans to be. I'm sorry, but it's not. There is very little chance of these getting up into this massively defended hill.
There's only 21 bastions up there.
Yeah, there's only a handful of bastions up there. But it's also one of the major production centers.
Yeah.
Those Titans are a shitload of metal. And they've gone down... And pardon?
Left.
Where are we looking on the left? Yep. Sol Invictus are making their way in on the left-hand side, as well as Juggernauts and the Mammoths. They've managed to take out one of the advanced APHIS, which has chain reacted through the rest of the King's bases. That drops the economy massively, but this is the most important factor. The Kings have now essentially lost control of the middle of the map. And the peasant win condition is not clearing the Kings off of the map. The peasant win condition is winning the hill, which means that as soon as the Kings pull that defensive force back, the peasants will have been considered. It will be considered a peasant win.
Yeah, I think if the peasants can take any, like that entire dark section in the middle, basically where they all start within.
That is the definition of the hill, yes. So the peasants are nearly there for the win, and look at this, we've got another Sol Invictus force. This time, 27 of them moving in from the bottom left-hand side, and at the same time, the Titans have triggered the Shivas and the Sol Invictuses to move up the right-hand side of the map as well.
And you can just feel that shift in the armies now that the economy's slowed right down for the kings. There's less units being reinforced, which means that peasants, that line is now actively advancing rather than having to be hard
Also,
fought and won.
It unlocked the reclaim field for the peasants, which is why they're currently sitting at 11,000 metal income a second. They are eating the middle of the map. Now, me personally, I would actually say res the ever-living everything in the middle of the map, because they're all useful units in the middle of the map.
There's nothing but T3 in there, and if you happen...
There's nothing but T3 in there, and mammoths, and even the mammoths are useful right now. And the
anything
kings...
that's less than that has just been completely wiped, and there's not a wreckage.
And the peasants need the units more than they need the metal right now, because if you click onto the peasants, you can actually see there are quite a few players that are maxed out on metal. And the thing is, building units back at your base is not super helpful when you could be building them in the front of the map, because it is going to be the front of the map that is faster to get there.
Yeah, and if you can use someone else's T3 to push them back, then that's always better than using your own. Particularly when you can hold that field. If it's, you know, touch and go as to whether you'll be able to res them, by all means eat the metal and run. But when you can control that space, res an army, and then continue...
I mean, that said, forward. The GG's Razorbacks and Titans are actually inside of the fields that are getting resed. They are absolutely murdering those res bots. But on this right-hand side, the Sol Invictus have decided to try and push through all of the defenses here as well. The large number of agitators, the pulsars, and they are heading for that next big economy. They've found an APHIS. They're about to run into... They're now in range of the defensive pulsars up here as well. They're taking a lot of damage, but they are also getting closer and closer to that next stack. And I don't think that those pulsars are going to be able to take out the rest of them unless they change directions. Because the conversion is now in range. It just needs to be in sight. Or manually targeted, potentially. First laser beam is now on that defensive pulsar. If the pulsar pops, it should take out the... There we go, that's the conversion taken out, the build power taken out. And not quite the APHIS, but it does help. Can they grab at least one of those defensive pulsars? Two of those defensive pulsars taken down, which means that the next wave is going to have an easier time getting in. The Sol Invictus, while it's a great unit, is also not doing as well at cracking these spots as something like, I reckon, a pack of Juggernauts would have done. But really good at clearing out the chaff units and things along those lines while it goes through. Kings doing their damnedest to hold on to the hill, and the momentum in the middle of the map has actually slowed down for the peasants. There's a lot of their army value is now elsewhere. For example, around this right-hand side, we have a big push that is finding its way up. I don't think that even if Potato and GG focus everything they have onto this defensive right-hand side, they'll be able to build up units fast enough. It'll just be a trickle going into a horde, which won't work out. The units coming around the left-hand side are hitting... it is the right sort of units hitting the right sort of targets. It's Pulsars defending against T1. The T1 is getting into the Vanguards, defending the Tiger tanks, and allowing some T3 to push through. And the next wave of the peasant stuff is starting to build up as well. We have a large number of carries coming through. We have a large number of Sol Invictuses building up again. But the big place to be looking is this top right-hand side, where we have the Shivas, where we have the Praetorians, and we've got the Sol Invictus trying to find their way up into GG's economy. I do love that GG did build this up here. This is something we genuinely recommend if you do take an area. Just build stuff in there. When it's completely clear, there's no rules against it. Like, it's one of those things. Yes, in theory, you can't build these defensive pulsars up here, but, and this is why we talk about those taken. This is why we talked about those taken hole rules. But it's very obvious that this should be allowed, if that makes sense.
The space was taken. They're not using them to try and advance the front. They're trying to basically hold things off of the base that they've built up here.
Does it look like these Praetorians might actually get the build power up here, which will prevent the APHIS from continuing to be, which will prevent the APHIS from being built. That's the first one taken down. That's the rest of the build power taken down up here.
Well, that's a chain
That is
reaction.
going to slow things down quite a lot, and all of that is pulling forces away from this main frontal attack, which is just starting now to get into range of those defensive pulsars. This is going to be a rough one to clean up because there's plenty of chonk in the form of those Shivas around the Sol Invictus, which will do a lot of the damage. The Shivas will fall really easy and they won't deal too much damage, but in a mass pack like this, they're going to be more effective than running in solo, which is what was happening at the bottom half of the map earlier on in the game. Wow, just a quick look around the map. The left-hand side's been clearing house slowly but surely. We've got another Juggernaut walking in. Each one of those pulsars that goes down is going down. Is taking damage off the field. Juggernaut does go down. A couple more pulsars go down. A little bit of the production taken out in this top right-hand side. A lot of those Shivas have now been cleaned up. The Titans are now inside the formation, making the AoE shots of those Shivas less effective. The Sol Invictus, though, just going to continue walking forward. There's a bit of damage up here in the form of those Titans, but not a lot. And they are trying to walk up that hill to target that APHIS stack. I do think that there's enough damage here to get that APHIS stack, unless there's some really good target firing that comes out of GG, which at this stage of the game is pretty hard to do, just because of the lag and potentially some catch-up. There we go, first Sol Invictus getting fire onto that APHIS. Does go down before it gets it, just. The second one needs to move in to fight it. It only needs to get a tiny bit of damage on. The lasers have spun around to hit it. Bit of movement in the torso preventing it. Does take it out. However, more APHIS on the left-hand side, but the conversion did chain react. That's gonna, there we go. That is the build power and the conversion taken out. One of the largest economies left on the map for the Kings, taking out 1,600 metal income left for the Kings. At this point, it's safe to say that the peasants have taken the hill and won, but I don't think...
I've still got 5 commanders.
The Kings do still have quite a lot of commanders. Incredibly well played out of the peasants. I genuinely can't believe they turned this one around.
It goes to show you don't have to necessarily win on every front. You just have to win a few of the battles to be able to turn the tide of the war.
Potato sometimes surrender after somebody said never surrender. And this is the Kings have lost the hill, which means that it is definitely time for the Kings to tap out. Can we drop nukes with the admin tool, Twig?
I'm not sure, but you can definitely press destroy on the APHIS and the commanders.
Yep.
Feel free to do it.
If you just take out all the APHIS and there's not going to be any energy and they'll be able to find them fairly quickly.
Correct. Dashi said he was going to reclaim the hill. Unfortunately, some sabotage occurred.
I can at least respect how she's charging one-man
Commitment to the
army.
cause.
Yeah.
The sun is low and I am tired. And I do believe that there is only the one comm left. Daoshi, with a Legion comm, is fighting against the last of the units. Does look like that Legion comm is going to lose to the goblins. That is not how you would expect this game to end.
And on that disappointing note, let's go to the hill.
GG, ladies and gentlemen, that was the craziest game of King of the Hill to date. I wouldn't say the craziest play, but that was the most even back and forth, unpredictable, crazy game. Congratulations to the Kings for such a well-played game, but congratulations to the peasants. You have overthrown everyone. If you liked this one, please do like, join, follow, subscribe, all that stuff to the Twitch. If you're watching this on a VOD on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. This is going to be the end of the stream for us tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you everyone for playing with us. Good game.
Right, I'm going to raid over to me do this dev. There's a dev for the let's do this.
So baby, give me that. And let me get
Thank you
that.
very much, Good Potato, for the sub. After a game like that, we should be the one giving you something, not the other way around. But man, that was absolutely nuts.
That was very well played. We were talking shit about you, saying you've probably, well, I was saying that you've probably got the hardest lane, that you got no chance, and you fucking held. Well done, bro.
Yeah, that was a bloody hold and a half.
Well played. All right. Shut up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you in the next one, and
So
thank
baby,
you
give
for
me that.
watching and playing.
Let me
Zarom,
get that.
thank you for gifting the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that one. Who did it go to? Bro Vestus, welcome, and big thank you to Zarom for the for the tier 1 sub. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us.
Time for bed.
Time for bed. Thank you, everyone.
And his men spread wide on the map and built up from their zones. The fields were ours by mechs and power, where we push, we'll roam. Yo ho heads, raise the eagle high. Heave ho teams and raiders, never let it die. We'll be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. AllReasonNoLogic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action.